Ready.
Alright everyone, welcome to the stream. Today we are joined by Amiibolad as well as the SpaceGeorge. We're going to be discussing some of the latest updates regarding the Shattered Prophecy. Unfortunately, TheRicoLicious could not be with us today, but rest assured he's been hard at work bringing everything that we see today to the game, as well as some other stuff brought to us by the SpaceGeorge and as well as Amiibolad, of course. So I'll let y'all say hi.
Hello,
Hey there.
Amiibolad.
This is SpaceGeorge.
Yes. Hype, 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 hype. Alright, y'all. If you don't mind just letting us know, make sure that the audio sounds good alongside the game and our voices. We're just going to start from the top all over again. Welcome, creative name. Seems you've changed your name. Douglas, welcome, legend, hello. We appreciate all y'all tuning in today. This has been something we've all been looking forward to for a little while now. Since the last stream, actually, I've been looking forward to the next one. Okay, so to start, you're going to notice we have Link and Zelda swapped now. That's same you saw last stream, but everything's just a little bit more updated now.
This strange gloom keeps getting thicker.
Awesome.
We've been descending for a while now. These tunnels are deeper than I thought. What could be down here?
Yes, Link officially has a voice, X-Forge. Okay, so I will show off something that the SpaceGeorge did right away because we can see it from the beginning. If we talk to Link, you'll hear his voice in his grunts, rather than Zelda's voice. Obviously, we do hear Zelda speak, so stuff like that will be edited down the line that is planned. But yeah, that's an awesome little tidbit that the SpaceGeorge was able to throw in pretty recently, from what I understand. But yeah. And then today we will be running with the latest version of everything that TheRicoLicious has completed thus far, as well as the latest update for Zelda's English voice actor voice by the SpaceGeorge.
Misty and not concentrated enough to harm us. We'll
It's
keep
so
going.
strange seeing
Coming up
Link's
from beneath
like
Hyrule
mouth
Castle.
move.
Yeah.
Why are you making facial expressions?
We do
This
not
isn't the
know
Link
what
I
waits
know.
below, so we need to be ready for anything.
You're so expressive. This
I
isn't
know
like you.
I'll be okay with you. Link. Let's
Oh
go
my
solve this
gosh.
mystery.
It'll be interesting once the bones are moved into position and like the mouth flaps
Absolutely.
work better. It'll be less uncanny, but wow.
Okay, so why don't we get started by discussing some of the things we had previously planned. So I just want to give the briefest rundown of the Breath of the Wild version of Zelda's Ballad. The team has switched hands many times throughout the years. If we're thinking all the way back to 2017, we could mention William Zilv, Skylar Babcock, and then the project took a different direction once Amiibolad stepped in, so that was with the help of Qnando, Yam Gaming, a few others along the way. If there's any big names I'm forgetting, please feel free to interrupt. But yeah, I mean, now we think about today in Tears of the Kingdom, the Shattered Prophecy, we've got an awesome team. We've got Juliesgloom was able to help us with some of the logo redesigns. Jrhall helped with the Japanese voice implementation. The SpaceGeorge has been working on the newest voice stuff, as well as I believe you've done, let's see, Link's voice replacement. Haven't you done a little bit else? Were you doing a little dialogue stuff that I saw, or is that incorrect?
Right, so I was working on dialogue. I did pass you the version that the way the dialogue works is a little bit different. I did give you the version of dialogue that works for version 1.2.1. Wanted to
see.
check real quick what version of the game you're playing with at the moment.
So that would be, thank you for interrupting, because I think I am I'm on an older version, so I may be able
Yeah.
to switch that briefly.
Oh,
That
yeah,
would
no.
be, the question is if I have the latest update on here. But could you tell us just what you have edited so far regarding the dialogue stuff?
Right, so that's a work in progress. It's as you all know, it's a lot of dialogue files, mapping out which ones have the names, the pronouns, gender, um, for both Link and Zelda. At this point, what I finished are Link and Rauru's dialogue in the intro, and also the Great Sky Island sequence. Those are unfortunately not taking place at the moment, just because of technical difficulties with the files. But my personal favorite starting at this point was figuring out how to um, characterize Link. There are like little bits here and there that I figured would make more sense to fit Link's voice, or lack thereof, so to speak. Um, let's see here. I know that we had an initial idea of, when we were discussing this, having Zelda go up to Link, and then when you talk to Link, the initial idea was we can have Zelda be the one talking to him, and it's her name that appears in the dialogue box, and everything in the dialogue box is just her talking, which was a great idea. What I ended up finding out was, the label for the way that the game works. If you change the name that appears in the dialogue box, you also end up changing the name that appears above the character and labeling what their name is. Additionally, you would need to make custom animations for the player character so that they're the ones talking and gesticulating. So it's not like Link is the one talking, but like Zelda's voice is coming out of them, you know? So what I ended up doing was, in fact, making it so that it's Link speaking. Maybe you'll see this today, but I really like the idea of him being, mute, speaking with sign language. So around a lot of this dialogue, a lot of it really hasn't changed. Just I put parentheses around it to kind of simulate that he's speaking with sign language. There's also a little note in the beginning if you talk to him while you're coming down. This funny. That's funny seeing him being excited about the murals. So like his words are around parentheses, and little notes here, like, and what else did I do? I maybe I leaned into this a bit more. I'm like, a lot of times he'll be like Zelda. I also try to make it so that Zelda is the one still leading the expedition. So a few times you'll see him say, "Okay, Zelda, whenever you're ready, I'll follow behind you. Wherever you go, I'll continue." I feel a deep sense of unease down here. It reminds me of my time in Shrine of Resurrection. I remember how frantic I felt those first moments that I woke up. But I'll see this through with you. So things like that. I enjoyed. Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed putting that together. So that's how I characterized Link. And there's a little bit of Rauru. I don't know if we're gonna get to that today either, but there's a little bit of Rauru's dialogue that I edited on the Great Sky Island. I know that. So some notes that I wrote for myself here. The story that we've decided upon, like the story edits. We had some great input from Amiibolad that, as those of you know, like, cutscenes are pretty. If we are able to edit them at all, it's extremely limited at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So, he brought up like a good idea of, like, if we are able to get to it, then in the beginning where you have that cutscene where Zelda falls down and everything
All right, then. Now
goes
to
to
use this
ruin,
invention of Korra's.
just like cutting the
glad I didn't
screen
leave
to
it
black
behind.
right when she falls down. So
It's so
basically
easy to
this
record.
overarching idea
You
of
pointed and click.
keeping
Oh.
things kind of ambiguous. Um,
It looks like the rest of the murals are
like
obscured.
generally speaking, that they've switched places, but not really going into specifics about what
Just what
exactly
is this
happened.
place?
So one of the things that I also did,
Maybe we'll find more answers farther
it's
ahead.
like it's kind of subtle at this point, but
Link, let's keep
you know,
moving deeper.
when Rauru is saying goodbye to you, and you've gotten all his powers, you're pretty much saying goodbye to him. So in the original dialogue, he's like, in the English localization, he says, I've done all that I can for you. Now it's like now everything is I've done everything I can for Zelda. Now everything is up to you. And so I did a little bit of sleight of hand. So in this example, it'd be like, what I've done here is I can see why, like, I'm not, like right now we don't know the specifics of, like, and like, did he spend time with Zelda up there? Did he spend time with Link up there? Okay. So what I did was a sleight of hand was just like, I see why Link remains. I see why Link is loyal to you. So just kind of leaving it kind of ambiguous in that regard.
I think that's the best way to handle a lot of those sorts of changes, because I think Nintendo themselves sort of shot themselves in the foot with how much they gave away too early. You know, so having that ambiguous, discovery for the player, I think will really lend well to what we need to do to make it work, and actually just make it a lot more interesting.
Yes. Indeed.
Okay, if I may, SpaceGeorge, you did send the files to Rico, right? The ones that you had done?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did the versions of the dialogue for both for some older versions. They are here in the in our group chat, but I can also send.
I think he had packed everything into this, but it's probably, I assume, just because I'm not on the right version, right?
Here,
okay.
let me put the one that I gave you is for the latest version of the game, so I'm gonna resend these. I'm also going to. Okay, this should also work, but let me try this one as well.
Epic Gamer, the plan is by the end of March we'll have a version out that people can play, and then we will continue to update from that point onwards. But we want this playable for people as soon as possible.
My only issue is I don't have the latest version, if you know what I mean, SpaceGeorge.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know if that can be helped at all. But as for now, I'm going to let the intro cutscene play.
Yeah, sure, okay. Also try
Yeah, with technical difficulties,
Thank you, y'all. As we know, there's always got to be at least one technical difficulty. At least. So you'll also notice this beginning cutscene has not been changed just yet, because that will be a whole nother tackle of its own. So...
Yes, so the idea, as SpaceGeorge touched upon, is that spoilers, you're watching this, and you should know the thing if you're watching this, but she falls down a hole and then disappears, and so the idea is that that's the point at which our version of the cutscene will end. So ultimately, Zelda being the main character means that Zelda not being in the scene anymore means she can't really know what happens after it. So our perspective is we don't know what happens. We don't have to explain how she ends up on the island.
And pardon me, Amiibolad, this is pretty loud in game, so I'm gonna try to skip it before you go ahead. It's just pretty loud. Or if I even can. I guess not.
I don't think this one is skippable.
Okay. I just don't want you to not be heard, because I know the game audio is pretty loud. I'm not sure if you're louder than it.
I mean, I can yell.
Yes, please. I don't know. Let me know, y'all. Even with the game pretty loud, can you still hear Amiibolad and I speak, or because I can turn the game audio down if that helps y'all hear us better.
Sword, a link. Raru placed his faith in you, and that was all you could do.
How do you know our names?
Oh, thanks, Black Cat. Don't worry, Epic Gamer. I'm sure they'll figure out a new way to do the moment Nintendo patents it. Like, oh, by the way.
Okay, thank you, SpaceGeorge. I think that's all I need, right?
Yeah, so you'll need this one, this one, this one says, those numbers, and then,
Oh, I see, I see.
there's another corresponding, I'm just gonna, like, be sending you all things, this one right
Wonderful.
here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those should go into their respective files, or, subfolders, and then you should be good to go.
Wonderful, appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. Bear with. I shall return.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and throw the... Now, I'm being silly, but can you guide me to that folder just so I don't have to look? Which one should that go in? Is that user interface?
Let's see here. This one. Oh, let's do. So this is where this one should go.
Okay,
So
awesome,
have that up
awesome.
there, and then inside of here is where you should see that one.
There we go.
Yeah, the dialogue tends to be the one that's finicky between versions.
Okay,
Fingers
understood.
crossed. It should work.
Alright then, well I'm going to restart the game team. But I should be able to have 2 instances running at one time. So we'll let this play through for just a moment, and then we'll start from the top one more time just so we can see those text edits. But if you will, Amiibolad, I wanted you to speak a little bit more about your inspiration for continuing the Zelda's Ballad project, because I know there's a lot of stories you have along the way, and stuff that personally touched me regarding your motivations behind the mod.
Lest the injury endanger you further.
So I started the original Zelda's Ballad. Well, I came into the team as just a costume designer. I came in just with a bit of background skill in that after finishing uni and all those sorts of things. All wonderful. Wanted to use my skills, but my mother had always sort of promoted my love of video games and all that sort of stuff. She never stopped me from playing them, or like every time I wanted a new console, she'd put in half the money for it when I was younger, and I'd earn the rest, and all those sorts of things. But when she saw Breath of the Wild and all of the promotional art for it, the one cutscene that she really quite enjoyed, watching me play Zelda games, she quite liked the character of Zelda, and she said that she'd always play a game with me if she could play as Zelda, which of course never happened. So when she saw Zelda in her blue dress, the royal dress, she's like, I want to play as her. specifically in that dress. And so, unfortunately, just before Breath of the Wild came out, my mother passed away quite suddenly. So she never got to do that. And so, in memory of her, I learned how to mod and made Zelda playable. So that's why I decided, when I found out that people were working on it, I decided to learn Blender and all the other things that go along with it, and texturing and modeling and all those sorts of stuff. And it helped me find a creative outlet, I think, for what I was going through at the time, and find friends and community. And it's been so amazing to see how many people have enjoyed Zelda's Ballad because of it. And yeah, so that was my ode to my mum, and I worked so hard on that royal dress so many times, and yeah, so I was very proud when I finally got that working.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell, I mean, from everyone across the history of the team, it's just a passion of love. It's a labor of love. And you can just see it with literally everything. I mean, this mod would not be what it is today without those that are part of the team now, as well as, like we were saying, everything that they did along the way. Um, but yeah, game has given me a little silly, so that's why we're still on a black screen, y'all, but I appreciate y'all bearing with us. I may just have to switch back to the former version I was using, but we'll find out in just a moment. But I'm going to open this up before we segue to another direction. Does anyone have any specific questions regarding the mod at the moment? Because as you know, we've got almost the whole team here right now, so we're here to answer any questions you may have or anything like that. Yeah. Can we see Dragon Link? Yes, absolutely. We'll get to that. That's a good idea. Thank you for reminding us.
And
Right.
also, thanks for your comment, Epic Gamer and Sbfres. Very
You
nice of
just
you.
have to roll with the former version. Just being silly.
Oh, is it black screen? Kind of.
It's
And this
kind
is
of
why
just
we
not
play.
getting all the way to the game. It's just
Half of our lives is testing.
yeah. No, y'all 39 people are bearing with us, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it might be one of those instances where it's just like taking extra long, and then if it's taking too long, then that's okay.
Right.
I forgot to mention, I did also, with Amiibolad's help, I also did put together a character profile for Link instead of and it goes over Zelda's over in the character profiles. If we can't get dialogue edits up, then the dialogue changes will not obviously not be in effect if we look at it, but we will see their pictures and we will see some key art from Amiibolad that he very graciously provided. A beautiful illustration. Thank you again.
It was a pleasure to do. When you came to me and told me what you were planning, I was like, yes.
I think
I know
you did
exactly what I'm going to do.
yes.
I'm
Excellent.
so glad it turned out the way that it did, and I hope everybody likes it.
Me too.
Right. So yes, we're going to revert, and then we'll be right back on screen. But go ahead, Amiibolad. Sorry.
I was just looking at, because I've set up my tablet as well, so I can follow the stream. See how it's all going, and black screen right now. But the thing that I was going to bring up was, like, going back to Zelda's Ballad just while we've got the downtime. How important it is to the team to maintain the essence of character. So one of the things that I really appreciate, especially what you're doing, SpaceGeorge, is you're creating the character of Link in the beginning, because obviously Link is an avatar, and Nintendo have always said he's the blank slate for the player. But you've reached into a part of that heroism that he has, of that drive to protect. And I think that's amazing that you've tapped into that and been able to draw a character out of that, because he doesn't have much of a character outside of like Age of Calamity, in which case he is a rock-eating goofball, which is a bit hard to portray in that opening part. But I think it's going to be interesting to see, because the original, like the plan is that the puppet Zelda will be replaced with Link.
Yes,
Correct? Yes.
that's my understanding.
So while the puppet Zelda doesn't really have much of a personality, the way that people talk about her is sort of what her personality is. And so getting to see what you'll make there is going to be really, really cool. And I think that's one of the driving aspects that keeps the quality of what our mods are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the idea of Zelda's Ballad, that we keep to the lore, we keep to the character. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Thank you. And I am too.
Right now, the streaming software itself is being silly and doesn't want to look at the game, but we shall get that sorted. But yes. Maybe if we're ready, we could segue. I know the game still isn't quite on screen, but to your topic, Amiibolad, that you had added to the discussion, what inspired the original Zelda's Ballad, and where did it end up for the Shattered Prophecy? So we discussed some of these topics, but if you'd like to go over maybe anything we missed, I may not have heard you speak of some of this already. I've just been looking at my screen pretty intensely.
So the ideas that I originally had, because I did majority of I think of the original Zelda's Ballad designs, only 3 weren't mine of the main outfits. And for those, I was very religiously keeping to the creating a champion art book. Looking at what other cultures within the Zelda world use, like the Gerudo and the Zora, the Rito, all those sorts of things. What Link himself was wearing, and not just trying to make a feminized version of it, because that wouldn't portray the character of Zelda. But so everything having a more very much a more elegant design principle in mind is where I went with it. So, for example, with the Snow Quill, it became a jacket, quite heavily inspired by the cut that is on her white snow outfit. And in fact, due to the magic of texture changing, we were able to make it look like the white outfit that she wears in the snow as well. But when it's in its normal snow quill looking form, it looks a lot more Rito and a lot more patchwork, but it still has that wonderful sort of patterning to it. And that was fun to do. So I made sure that when I was designing those sorts of elements, that I looked very carefully at previous Zelda stuff. And the art books, the Hyrule Historia, and all those sorts of things were infinitely amazing resources for that.
I love looking at your concept sketches up alongside the actual game stuff, because it's almost indistinguishable. Whenever you see your concept art, it's absolutely beautiful. And you can tell, that it's heavily inspired by, obviously the game itself. It has the elegant essence to it. But as you can see, we got the game back on screen, so we'll just continue as we were at the start of the stream. We'll have to work out some of those kinks for the next stream. But yes.
I remember that was one of the things that drew me to Zelda's Ballad for Breath of the Wild, that the fact that you could change pretty seamlessly. just through the Hateno dyeing mechanics between the different her canon outfits, and then also versions of the outfits that were more true to what Link was originally wearing. I thought that was very unique, and I think I've said this before, but the way that Amiibolad in particular emulates the game's style and aesthetic and tone, I think it's at a level that I don't see very many other modders quite touch on. So I'm definitely drawn to Zelda's Ballad for sure, and I'm honored to be part of this team currently.
Thank you. And we're so lucky to have your expertise as well. Like
Absolutely.
the amount of the way that you think about lore and the care that you take is amazing. So thank you.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna give the chat another opportunity to just let us know if the game audio is too loud, because we're getting into a pretty loud spot. But if it is, I will turn the game audio down. I'm speaking over the loudness right now. I don't know if you can still hear all of our voices equally. Just another update would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna field some questions that I can see here in the chat. So Jeffrey, the arm is actually Zelda's. So it's taken from her ancient outfit. So like all the proportions are taken from in reference to Zelda models, specifically from this game. So the reason that she has a slightly flatter chest at the beginning of the game is because the top doesn't appear until you pick up the sword. It's actually part of the way that the game is coded. We can't change that. So in order for that to happen, she has a bra sort of painted across her chest. In order for that to, once you pick up the sword, then the top is loaded in, and that becomes the default base outfit. And they're saying here, Troll Squad, that the sound in the game is a bit loud again.
Awesome. So I turned everything down just a little bit. I got my desktop leaked on the stream, but we'll survive. I turned it down a good little hair, but again, y'all, if you notice it again, please just let us know. We'll fix that. Yeah, for right now, we'll just be playing through the beginning until we decide it's a good time to start showing off later game, other outfit stuff. For those who haven't been updated with the mod, I do have a good handful of streams and update videos on my channel. But I implore you not to leave us just yet, since you're not going to catch us live again for another brief amount of time. But you'll have to check those out at another time, because there's a lot of good progress updates already made public on the internet.
Oh, one of the things I found, like, I got really excited when they first released the trailer footage for Tears of the Kingdom, because I noticed that the outfit for the top had a skirt, and then the skirt was also there on its own when Link took off his top. And I was like, oh, have they created like a top and a bottom that have the same element that sort of merge? And I thought that was going to be a really cool concept that Nintendo had done, and I could use that in some way. No, so they didn't do that. What they did is they have a little bit of code in the outfit that says, is this a skirt or not? And if it is a skirt, get rid of it whenever something you're wearing gets in the way. And that's even more useful. So I was really, really pleased that they did that, because I'm not sure if the element is still in play here fully, but there are a couple of outfits that use this trick in order to change when you put on a hood or not. It disappears. And I need to actually update with Rico, because I need to properly teach him how to do that. Because it's a very useful trick.
I appreciate that aspect of the outfits myself. Something that I've always thought was kind of maybe a little funny, but just kind of like fascinating. Like if you, maybe slight spoilers if you haven't, if folks haven't gotten here, but if you put on the frostbite shirt and then you put on the ancient legwear, and then you have the ancient legwear dyed black, for example, then it oddly looks like a little bit of a garter belt there, and because the skirt has gone away, and it's like that's. I remember posting a picture one time with both of them. I happened to have on this save file both of them dyed black. I was kind of floored, like, oh, that looks nice, and so I put it in as one of my preview pictures for a different mod that I did, and someone asked me, what leg mod is that? And I was like, well, it's not. You can get that in the game. So I thought that was
You
funny.
just need to go find some materials and get some dyes. That whole system was an accident.
Oh my gosh, what a story behind that.
You too can give him a little garter belt.
When I was doing the dyes, I had a material that just wouldn't work for me. And so I swapped it out for a different material. And it turned out that I just hadn't given enough memory in the RSDB, which is everybody's worst nightmare when you're modding, is having to allocate memory to things. Because the game is so finicky. There is just a bit of background for people playing at home. You have to allocate a byte size, so just a random assortment of numbers at the end of a name in a single file, and that tells the game how much memory to give to that particular file when it tries to load it. And if you get it wrong, the game just gives up and stops trying. And in worst case scenarios, it just goes into a feedback loop where it crashes, which is everybody's favorite. When this material broke for me, I was just like, oh, it must be something wrong with the material. I might have exported it properly, like incorrectly, whatever. So I just changed it out for a different one, which had a transparency layer. And it made the model that I was working on when I put it into the game completely disappear. Just a single part of it, I think it was like a bracelet or something that she was wearing for the Gerudo. It just disappeared, and I went, interesting. What if I set it up so that half the model is on one side of a texture and the other half of the model is on the other side, and when you dye it, half of it disappears and the other half becomes visible? And it worked. So doing it that way, you're able to get an entirely new outfit. And the fact that Nintendo didn't think of this, because like they would have even had an easier way to do it if they could write it into the code, but you could have had all your outfits completely changed per dye. So once I realized that, I was just like, well, those other designs that I didn't think I was going to get to use, I'm going to see if I can incorporate them into the other designs, and they come out as special dye options.
Yeah, that just added a whole nother aspect to the mod that's just so unique, but keep going.
I think one of my favorite like as you were saying, SpaceGeorge, the best part was like creating unique outfits out of it. And my favorite, I think, I called it the Soothsayer, which is the Sheikah bottoms with the dress, the full skirt, and then the Gerudo top, which is the dark, like the royal blue, and then the Goron hood, like the flame hood, also dyed blue. And she honestly looks like a traveling like potion seller. Soothsayer. And I'm like, that's wonderful. I love that. So I've always loved to see when people mix and match, and that was a big part of making sure that they all work well together.
Alright, and then for those of y'all who noticed, this is one of the Easter eggs that TheRicoLicious had included. I believe this is intended. But yeah, this replaces the rusty broadsword. A neat little different item.
Oh, that's Hilda.
There we go. Hilda's staff.
Hilda's staff, yeah.
Between worlds.
That's cool.
Hey Jeremy, so to answer your question, it's not quite finished. This is just another progress update. We just want to keep everyone updated to where we're at as a team, and everything that is on screen right now is current. Just to update those of y'all who are just now joining us, we are with Amiibolad and the SpaceGeorge. TheRicoLicious could not join us today. We're featuring the base work by Amiibolad before now RicoLicious took over everything regarding models and textures. So that's what you're seeing on screen. And the playable Zelda voice was done by SpaceGeorge. You're hearing it about 50% completion, so you'll hear a few of Link sounds here and there, but it's primarily Zelda's English voice actor.
I did want to address a question that I see in the chat from Jeffrey about feeding Zelda dialogue audio from both games into an AI voice generator and then mapping that onto Link's grunts. So everything that has been done on my end for editing Patricia Somerset's voice into the game, I take the raw clips as they are from whichever respective game I've been taking from Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and even a little bit from Tears of the Kingdom, the less visited parts, and then editing, manually picking among those myself to find ones that fit the tone and the context of the corresponding action, and then trimming or lengthening or adjusting the volume in the program Audacity as needed. And I think that this preserves the, for lack of a better word, integrity of that clip and making it authentic. And there are no plans to use on my end to use AI for any voice edits, not for Link, not for Zelda, not for any characters. In particular, because I have seen, at least on the English dub side, both Sean Chiplock and Patricia Somerset have expressed a range of concern against the use of AI for voice acting.
Yeah.
I think that's very, like, keeping that respect is also paramount to our work as well.
Absolutely.
So yes, 100% firmly agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, in my head it feels like stealing someone's voice, which is stealing anything from anyone is just not the name of the game.
And like you've got quite a library now of voice clips and lines from now 3 different games. That yes, Link from memory has somewhere like 300 different sounds. It's obscene how many different. Like they just got this poor guy in to go yeah. A lot. So
They sat Kengo Takanashi in the studio and made him do all that.
incredible. Like hardest working actor ever, really. That would hurt by the end of the day. But being able to edit those, I love Audacity. I love it. I love that it's free too. You're able to, like, as you put it, thin the sound, like stretched out, to fit where the length and the emotion that it needs to, I think is going to really come through in how authentic it does sound. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited.
And pardon my lack of speedrun ability, but I also just want to take the time to appreciate everything we get to see at the beginning of the game. I'm probably going to head for the Archaic Tunic and maybe 1 or 2 more shrines before we switch over to a more complete save file, just so we can showcase more of what we actually have completed. But yeah. Ultra hand time. The hand. The gimmick hand.
You got physics engine. Woo!
Oh, on a completely separate note, did anyone online see the someone put one of the Tears of the Kingdom building mechanics into Ocarina of Time and they just rode around on some cart that they made? I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, I
Crazy,
think I saw.
crazy, crazy.
Love how much people have been able to like some of the mods they've made for the original Ocarina of Time. Just beautiful.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's exactly what it needs. It needed to be more like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. That's what Ocarina of Time needed.
Yeah, some people have been excited enough, I think, to even backport a bunch of stuff from here into Breath of the Wild. So it's been kind of funny to kind of visit that page on Game Banana once in a while and see, oh, there's the Zone 9 armor over there.
I'm not quite sure how moddable the world is for Tears of the Kingdom yet, because like Breath of the Wild has obviously made a lot of strides mod wise. You can create whole new levels effectively within the game space. What are the limitations that still exist there?
Oh, in terms of modding the world in Tears of the
Yeah,
Kingdom.
for Tears of the Kingdom.
So let's see. I guess since Rico and I have been looking in there the most, even then I can't quite say off the top of my head how much progress has been made there, but just from what I've observed, not really a lot. I think there was even a comment that said something like that maybe terrain. Actually, maybe these are different. Maybe someone else more knowledgeable in this area can correct me if I'm wrong, but terrain is like changing terrain is a very new capability that was added in like the research channel of the Tears of the
Oh
Kingdom
wow.
hub.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, oh, we don't even have that for Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
And things like that. I know that's quite a bit more of a feat in itself. Maybe not quite up to that scale, but I think I also remember seeing someone trying to restore Hyrule Castle, so it would look kind of polished and nice. That's not quite, I guess that's not really terrain, that's more textures, I suppose, but that's I mean, of that scale, that's still pretty impressive to me. So that's the extent of my knowledge. A lot of people are generally still focusing on, I know there's a shout out to the master mode folks trying to put that together.
Oh wow.
AI, actors, more models and textures. Someone's trying to port over. Shout out to this person as well, trying to port over a bunch of Skyrim things, weapons and assets. So that's the that was it. I kind of went into a little bit of what I've been observing within the hub, but that's the extent of what I've been seeing.
Okay, because I think it would be very interesting, and because my favorite thing in the world is lore and stuff like that. I would love to see, even if it's just a miniature scenario, like that bridges Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, just a bit better than nothing.
Yeah,
You know?
no, for sure. 100% agree.
And I think like with how much they've been able to do with Breath of the Wild, one of my things that I've always wanted to do for Zelda's Ballad, the original, was make it so that the memories were playable. So that when you activate a memory, you're sort of like teleported into a zone, and then you just have to traverse like that little bit that happens just before the cutscene. So it has a little bit more context and reality within the world or the realm of the player. And then at the end, you get the cutscene, and then you get kicked out, and you can watch it whenever you want. And I think that's what Tears of the Kingdom was missing as well, with the memories and things like that. And so that's what I think like if I had a perfect world or a perfect way of doing things and abilities to do so, that's what I would ultimately want to do with the memories for like the dragon tears for this mod as well eventually, because that way we could have context and change them and sort of build that sort of understanding through those memories that way.
You know, I agree with you there. I haven't seen anything of now that you've given me some examples, I have a better idea of what you're talking about. I know that I have peeked in the Breath of the Wild hub, and maybe not right now. I don't know if people are still working on it now, since a lot of folks have migrated over to the Tears of the Kingdom modding space. But I know there was someone who there was a mod that was made that was like a little sanctuary area in the desert. So that was like a different, and that took like about a year to make. So that was like an area sectioned off, and then you could be in there and store a bunch of weapons. There was another
Awesome.
mod that was made that I think lets you go into the original Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time, and that was another area in
Yes.
itself. Yeah. So folks working on things like that in the Breath of the Wild space, and so I haven't seen any. I know those took a while to put together, and those folks worked very hard on those. Shout out to those folks. I haven't seen anything of that scale just yet here for Tears of the Kingdom, and it might take a while, especially because those Breath of the Wild ones that I saw, those were maybe in like the past year or two that I saw those. Like that was not something very like right out the gate.
No, and I think Breath of the Wild especially has a very steep learning curve when it comes to learning its back-end files. They're not like any other file system that I've ever encountered because like they're all Nintendo's wonderful way of thinking about things. And whoever thought of that code structure needs help. Some of it is so confusing as to what have I changed, what has happened, and so like through things, what's it called, Ice Spear, something like that. Like being able to
Yes.
have a world generator to actually go through and go, okay, I can see what the file is doing and looks like, and what this enemy's code is, and all that sort of stuff. It's so helpful, and I think that's what Tears of the Kingdom will eventually need as well for that sort of stuff to come along, because it is a big learning curve, and I think that's what's been stopping people from having bigger mods out for Breath of the Wild even until, like, as you said, like the last year or so, because it takes so long to learn it, and then you gotta think of it, design it, and then make it and test it. And that's where the time goes. Like, once you start, the actual building of a model takes about a couple of days, really, and then everything else is what holds it up.
Indeed.
That'll be. I'm so excited because obviously Breath of the Wild was a big sandbox, and this is even more so. So it's going to be really interesting what people can do to just create more, I guess, in-depth scenarios. Because, like, again, Nintendo have always had a very sort of hands-off approach to storytelling. It's the secondary function to gameplay, and that's fine. That works for them. They make a lot of money off of that. But a lot of people, I think, are so disappointed with how little care they seem to have taken with Tears of the Kingdom's lore. That it sort of does, well, it doesn't fall to, like, we're not knights or anything, but it gives us a lot more freedom to play and craft scenarios and have fun with it that they just weren't willing to do. Excites me.
Yeah, to your point about having memories, or the scenes leading up to it playable. Myself being one of them, I know a lot of people were hoping for and also to your point about bridging between the two games, we're hoping for gameplay where, like, especially you have Zelda as a companion. That would have served, I think, as a great bridge between the two games at least. Like, you've rescued her from the first game. You're out exploring. I really think that those years where we didn't know anything about the game and we only had that very, very, very first teaser in 2019, I think it was about 2 years that we were left in the dark, but just with that. I think that was kind of an unmatched, and it made me older. Zelda fans would maybe have something to say about that, but I think the level of speculation that and just like what's gonna happen, like that level.
People went wild. I don't think I heard the name Zonai enough.
No, no, absolutely not.
It's gonna be the Zonai. It's gonna be this. What is with all the glowstones? Why is there a rat?
The rat.
Where's the rat?
No, for real. What happened to the poor rat?
Rat deleted. Rat not even in game files anymore.
Literally.
It's just like you can see that. I actually think there was a proper plan for them. They had somebody working story, and then I don't know, something tragic happened, and they went back to their home planet. Because that trailer reeks of something bigger.
Yeah.
It reeks of something planned and something cohesive that just didn't manifest.
Yeah.
But I think I will. One of the things I really enjoyed discussing with you, Space, which I've never asked. Do you prefer Space or George?
George is fine. Thanks.
Hi, George. So, changing the dialogue in places like Hateno Village so that everybody doesn't have amnesia anymore.
Oh,
Please.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is on. So in my, it kind of, when I'm working on the dialogue, I have largely been using also some of my notes that I've been generating for a different project. So it like works in tandem. So, and what I made note of for that is like where Link's name, gender pronouns are, and then the same for Zelda, and then also where there are returning characters or references to what the hero did in the previous game. So I do have like a conscious effort of making like I know there was someone else in the Tears of the Kingdom space who has a work in progress out for like having everyone remember you, curing people's amnesia. So I do have that. Yeah, I have that same mindset because I mean, sure, fine, Nintendo can do what they want in terms of continuity, but you know what? We would like to have a little bit more of that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think like consistency within that continuity would be great too, because like you can meet. Oh wow! Now my name's going to completely forget everybody's name. Bolson.
Yeah.
Bolson doesn't remember you, but he's the reason. You're the reason he's got a wife and a kid.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
truly.
You know that
Yeah, that's
wonderful
right.
town we're all standing in? Poof, doesn't exist without me, buddy.
Yeah, I think they like very, very briefly mention it in passing, like, oh, like, hey, thanks, but that's just kind of like it. Like I would also like, hello, I'd make a bigger deal of that. I'm like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I did like set you up with your wife and like all that
No,
stuff.
it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I think in another call, I think maybe the Troll Squad or Amiibo had said something like, changing the dialogue in for one of the NPCs in the Hateno village, like instead of I'm keeping an eye on Zelda's house while she's away, and, like I don't know who's Link, I don't know who that is, and like just like I'm keeping an eye on your house for you while you're out. things like that.
Saving the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just having a look at some of the comments. Yeah, it's yeah. So
There's a lot of
you all have such wonderful names. Algerian, or Algerian. I come to accept TikTok,
TikTok, yes.
as just Breath of the Wild plus wacky physics on steroids. I know a lot of people won't, but I find myself going back to both games for different reasons. And I think that's what Nintendo wanted. I think they knew that a lot of people were going to look at the world and go, oh, I've been here before. But I will say, when I jumped off of that sky island and landed in that pool, my brain discombobulated and I completely forgot what Hyrule looked like. Even though I'd spent like 300 hours in it. I was like, alright, where am I? Here. I don't know where anything is anymore. And so like I constantly got lost, mainly because of the caves. Like caves and like different, there's like slight subtle differences that threw my brain out of whack. Because my brain calibrated its starting point to the Great Plateau. And so starting in Hyrule Field closer to the castle just completely like set me off on the wrong kilter. And so I had like a wonderful time stumbling around and playing the game that way. But at the same time, like I've felt, because I've played so much of Breath of the Wild, I don't need to play as much of Tears of the Kingdom as like I've done everything in it. And modding is, you know, obviously I'm running around and playing it that way, but I don't want to go back and play it for myself as much anymore. And that's a me problem. Because, again, things that stick in my brain, once they're there, I can't undo that. And my brain just gets, like, sort of bored of doing the same thing. So I think that's what Nintendo was expecting. They knew that people were going to come in from Breath of the Wild. They knew they were going to love that. That new aspect of the Sky Islands and the depths, which is why they didn't tell anyone about the depths. And then they knew that once that novelty had worn off, they needed to make something that kept them going, and that's why there's so much usability in the Zonai abilities. Like I've seen people just make things. Like there are YouTube videos out there that are just people making like the USS Enterprise. Okay. It barely lifts off the ground, but it's there.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what Nintendo was ultimately going for once they realized they had the tech to do that.
You know, on that note, this is kind of fresh in my mind, but are you both aware of the lore-accurate Ganondorf fight?
Yes.
I
my
recently
gosh.
watched I like finally sat down and watched because the person who did that made made a behind the scenes video of it, and I finally recently sat down and watched that the whole way through. It's like 10 minutes, 11 minutes. But you can see, like, he was explaining that when update 1. On that note, when update 1.2.1 came out, and I guess with that update, before that you could, like, you know, to speak to the kind of the fun things you can do with Ultra Hand. Before that, you could put Ganondorf in a little box, and during his fight, like, I don't, maybe some of you have seen like pictures of him like behind like a little like fruit stand, and it's like funny, like he's in timeout during his boss fight. But then because that update came out for whatever reason, I guess he couldn't do that anymore. So he was like, you can see, you know, shout out to, I think, Udge. I think that's how you pronounce it. But I think in his video you can see him like going through his thought process of like, how am I going to make this Zonai device to get a really good shot of the background that I want, and also first person, and also without the battery, yeah, like the battery UI showing up in the HUD. So you can see, like, I think he called it I think his final thing was a first person frozen meat box or something. It was something ridiculous. But he, like, you can just see like this in like for some of his more complicated shots where it's like spinning around and like looking at everyone from the ceiling that way. Like it was like a whole thing that he attached to the ceiling, and you like and he was like, here's this part, like first person, and on the other end it's counterweighted, and then you spin around, and like you can just imagine like trying to, you know, put all those Ganondorfs and then spinning around. So anyway, that was just that was something that came to mind while you were talking about the things that people have made with.
There's some wacky ones, and I'm like, power to you. I couldn't be bothered.
I know I go on foot everywhere for a reason. I'm like,
I still go on horses because I feel bad. Every now and then I like get off the horse and like have a carrot for carrying my lazy ass.
I feel that.
What
Alright.
do you think is the, like, just for the both of you, of the things that are missing from Breath of the Wild, what do you miss the most in Tears of the Kingdom?
Ooh. Okay, this is a I don't know if it's a strange one, but just the first thing that comes to the top of my mind is the feeling of a fresh world. Like, we have never stepped foot in this place before. We have no idea what's going on. It's literally, the only way I can put it is a breath of the wild. It's like, it's just open air. It's like a very fresh, literally just everything. We haven't seen any of this before. I have no idea what to expect, you know, my first step off the plateau, meeting all these characters again that we've seen in previous games, and then all the new ones as well. It's just, that was definitely my favorite part.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for myself too. Like I still like I really enjoy that opening sequence of Tears of the Kingdom. Like I think that's so freaking cool. Like going through the sky, the theme for Breath of the Wild opens up the like those beginning piano notes. You think it's gonna be Breath of the Wild, and then it like opens up into the epic Tears of the Kingdom theme from the trailers, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. I'm skydiving. But
Wait, guys! This game has music.
hey, but funny, but you know, for myself, for Breath of the Wild, I told Troll Squad on the other stream, but I came to it in 2020, like well after it had already come out, and when quarantine was really underway. That's when I really discovered it for myself, and that I would say kind of in line with what he'd said. That like I went in blind. I didn't even watch any trailers or anything. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, open world. I guess while I'm experimenting with all these games while I'm here in quarantine, I'm gonna try that out. And when I finally got that working, I got my emulator working and all that stuff. That sensation of, well, also feeling very smart because I got that set up in the first place. But you know, that feeling of coming out and like with since that was the first of its kind, with like that's the OG, the piano notes, the theme opening up, and it's just like dum 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 dum, dum. And I still actually like kind of jokingly sometimes that there's like a big hill, or I think even in Pal World I like, it's like inviting you to like put down your camp. So I'm like, I'm gonna put it right here where I can recreate that. And then I literally, like, I was like thinking to my screen, I moved my character up to the hill, da 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 da, like pan the camera over. I was like, yeah.
Alright.
So you know,
Pardon my interruption. Pardon the little technical things you see on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to a more complete save file so that we can take a look at all that other stuff, as long as I didn't completely delete all of it, which would be a silly. We should be good.
Alright, sounds good.
Made a silly, but no worries. But yeah, go on, y'all. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. But yeah, all that to say, like, yeah, I guess that's a natural byproduct of it being a sequel and also in the same world. Like, it's not, can't really recreate that same feeling of opening up Breath of the Wild for the first time and doing that opening sequence again for the first time.
Where are you?
Are you
Oh,
on the
there
edge
I
of the
am.
world?
Yes,
Did
that
you?
was.
Yeah,
was-
oh wait, yes, I remember this from someone like. I mean, I didn't see you do this, but I remember seeing someone like make a big deal about like, oh, here I am on the edge of the world. There's no grass here. It's just like this, and I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
second, that looks familiar.
No, I was collecting some footage for Commonwealth the other day, so we were taking the free cam up here.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed too your opening screen was like, I was like, that looks a little different to the view
Right?
on the murals.
Yeah.
No, okay, if this is silly to say, but this area is Breath of the Wild because nothing changed. So every time I'm up here, I'm like, oh wait, this is Breath of the Wild until I see the Sky Islands and then the updated Zelda mod or whatever else I'm doing. I'm like, wait, this is 2017 right here until it isn't.
Nothing has changed. I still can't believe that there is so much up there.
Yes. No,
There-
that's a little sorry to get off on this other tangent, but that's what Commonwealth and I were reviewing is everything beyond what you can actually see in the game exists physically, and you can't even see it. Like there's lakes, rivers, mountains, islands, hills, all beyond
Dang.
the world borders that you just can't see. But I'm sure if anyone was interested, they could check that out on Commonwealth's next video.
Yo,
Let's see. So regarding our little timeline, I know you had mentioned a good bits of what you are working on so far, the SpaceGeorge regarding the voice stuff. But was there any other specific key points that you wanted to hit on before we move on to anything else? Because we're hitting that 10:45 mark that we had set for your portion of discussion.
Oh yeah, sure. Are you able to look at the character profiles right here?
Yes, let's do that. Go.
And then all the way up to the top, and you should see. Oh, interesting. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this is actually not what I put. What Amiibolad and I put. I guess Rico had made his own. As well. But let's see.
Yeah, if you'd like to
Uh,
send, because I believe you sent us a screenshot that I can throw right on screen so we can
oh,
show.
sure. Okay. Yeah. I think I have to bring up this. Let's see here.
Because we had sent
That
something
yes,
in
that
either our group
dialogue is
chat.
also different. Dialogue is also a little bit different. I think that is a different version. But let me. So I copied this image. Okay. I'm putting that right here. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I will pull that
Yeah,
up
sure.
screen now. Because this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look. Now we should be able to see this on screen. This is what this is. We are planning to have this finalized as.
Mm-hmm.
Just because maybe we
Yeah.
hadn't packed it correctly for this version. But yeah, I mean, if you'd like to go over this, just so everyone can see. I mean, y'all had thrown this together, right? Was that between you and Amiibolad, or just you, SpaceGeorge?
Oh yeah, so I made his little profile picture on the left, and then I put together this blurb. So for those of you who are having a little bit of trouble reading, it's a little bit small from my view. So it says instead of Zelda, Princess of Hyrule, it says Link, Champion of Hyrule, the appointed knight of Princess Zelda. He fought alongside her over 100 years ago to stop Calamity Ganon from destroying Hyrule. He was placed under a long healing slumber after suffering near-fatal wounds defending the princess. After Calamity Ganon was defeated and Link had awoken and recovered, he committed himself to remaining by Zelda's side and helping her rebuild and restore a calamity-stricken Hyrule, but has now gone missing. So with this one, I did try to retain the wording of the tone of the original blurb, the tone and pacing, and also reference the old game, but still a bit of an air of ambiguity. Zelda was the hero of the previous game, but not spending too much time on the specifics of where was he? Oh, in the back, didn't you know? But
He was in the beyond of Bed Bath and Beyond.
yeah, right. And so for the key art for the art on the right, for the other character profiles, of course, they have the gorgeous paint stroke style in the on the right, and then the left I think is more like almost like an in-game render. But for Link, I knew that we had existing art in that style for Age of Calamity and also Breath of the Wild, but I was like, you know what? I think it would really pop if we had something in the style of Tears of the Kingdom, like with his new outfit, doing something cool, something unique that we don't have yet, because everything else that we have of him in that style for Tears of the Kingdom, he has his new arm or he's wearing the other outfit. So I thought it would be really fitting to have him something like this. So I just pitched the idea. I showed him to Amiibolad. I showed him what I had. And then he took it and ran. I didn't even ask him to put Zelda in there, but you know what? I'm so happy that he did.
Isn't that just
I
wonderful?
originally just had Link, and I went through a whole bunch of different poses, and I was like, they're all so and it's like, it needs something, and I'm like, you know what? This is Shadow Prophecy. This is the next part of Zelda's Ballad. Put Zelda in, and so yeah, I just had this idea that he's just like being a bit of a, like, again, that goofball sort of thing, and then she's just like, what's
Let's
happening?
go this way. Yeah. And I think even like a little bit beyond that, it goes. I think it touches a little bit on folks, including my own like desire to have seen them spend a little bit more time together in between the games, and kind of touching on that
Yes.
want from that initial teaser. Like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna see together exploring? So I, again, just so many thanks for doing that.
Yes.
Really,
I
really
mean, it's beautiful. This whole project alone is just a tribute to collaboration itself. I mean, we all put in, well, the team itself puts in so many bits and pieces, but then when everything starts fusing together, it just becomes this beautiful, beautiful, unique work of art, which I personally am very passionate about, even though I haven't gotten to contribute in ways that everyone else has. It's just, I can't even begin to start because I'm going to go on forever and ever, but these little, just everything along the way, it's just, I can't thank everyone enough.
You've actually put on one of my favorite outfits that I worked on. Mainly for the little tiny fact that when you zoom in, like when you eventually hit the ground, actually no, if you go in from the side there, getting the hair to move like that and still keep the band so you can see it at the back was such a pain, but it looks so good.
Yes, it
It
does.
really does.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. See, and then
and-
once it's awesome having you here to point out these little details that they're just so organic, but I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out.
Because I wanted to, like this outfit here is effectively very similar to Link's. It's pretty much the same idea, but what I decided for this one for Zelda is that she keeps the wings out. Hers don't go away, and that just completely changes the dynamic of it. So regardless of so if you run around and stuff like that, normally on Link those little side panels disappear, but on her it's more like a cape.
I do.
Yeah,
Like that.
see, to add to that, there's physics included with everything, so it's just flowing perfectly. But yeah, it changes the outfit, but it's so in-game, it just looks like it's meant to be that way. It's just so seamless.
And then refitted and reworked to make sure that it matches her shape a bit better. But I think like one of the things that I find will be very useful when we start to go beyond just replacing armors that are in the game is that things like that mean that we can have capes and sleeves and shawls, which we couldn't do in Breath of the Wild. There just wasn't the physics capabilities, and making physics for that game is a pain in the everything. So being able to do that is going to be a lot of fun. And there we have her as her royal self.
Yes. I wish we could have seen another thing I wanted to see was Zelda's actual haircut. I wanted to see why, when, where, and how, even though that was all out of order. Because I know in traditional Japanese entertainment, there's a lot of symbolism behind cutting off your hair and like starting a fresh page, fresh chapter in your life, or a redefinition of what, you know, who you are. And I think obviously they had to cut her hair off for a few different reasons, you know, to change the look between games, then to also interact with this cape at the beginning of the game a little bit more appropriately. But that's how I viewed it, and I really wanted to see her decision to cut her hair off. But that's just a whole other tangent.
No, I think that's something that, again, you're very right, especially in Asian cultures and Japan. The cutting of one's hair is a sign of many different things. Can be anything from being ousted from an old life or taking on responsibility to fix a problem, or go out on your own. And I think knowing that of her motivation, of Zelda's motivation, would have really enhanced what we already have of the character. And again, I will say this, Nintendo, I don't know why they are so obsessed with muting their own characters. They're afraid of them becoming something more than, I guess, toys in a box to play with. But they are, like, in people's minds, like, the Zelda represents, like, for me, I have a Triforce tattoo because I love The Legend of Zelda.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, but so do I. One of my best friends, Kaylee, I was the first person she used her tattoo gun for. So I'm the first person she put ink on skin, and it's a little Triforce on my inside of my ring finger between my two hands, my middle and my ring finger on my left hand. I have it hidden there because I want it to be covered up one day.
Mine's a I can't ever get mine covered. I want to add to it, but mine's a big red Triforce on my left wrist, and I was originally going to get it in gold, but my friend who was the tattoo artist told me that red lasts longer. And so I was like, all right. So I just seemed really obsessed with power by the game more. But no, it's a very precious tattoo to me. It was my first, but all my tattoos are gaming related in some way. But
that's so, what a coincidence, because that's I won't continue, but that's such a coincidence.
so,
Twinning.
Literally, I mean. Okay, if I may interrupt, can you just, Amiibolad, can you talk about the physics regarding the sleeves, because they are definitely different in this game.
all right, so we have Minoru to thank for those sleeves. So in this dress isn't quite finished physics-wise. The model is done, as you can see. In the original Zelda's Ballad, it's a model that I created. Because we didn't have access to an official version of this model. I'm not sure why the hair doesn't have physics. It should have. That's probably.
I see. Let's take a look.
That's probably just it's been changed or something in between, and so there's a file missing or whatever. What level have you got it on?
It's on. I think it's completely unupgraded. I'll just do this for right now. Oops, that's not where that is anymore.
Should the band? Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So, it'll have those physics effectively. So, with physics editing in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, a majority of it is that you take it from another character that already is existing in the world, and you effectively take the bones from that character, sort of stitch them onto the skeleton of the player character that you're trying to change, and then pray that everything looks nice when you boot it out from the can. So in the original Zelda's Ballad, it uses the physics of a Wizrobe, which were the only long sleeve physics. A lot of people were like, why don't you use the Zoras? Because And I tried that. I tried that many times, and I thought it was a wonderful suggestion. But the problem was that the Zoras, when they lift their arms, their fins stick
Also,
out. They
I
just go
think I know.
straight. And so this weird thing would happen where Zelda would be like, I'm going for a nice paraglide, and my sleeves are directing me.
Yes. Yes.
Like a helicopter.
The only way that I was able to find around that was to get the Wizrobe's bones, which had a natural, like, sort of crazy wiggle to them, and then just sort of snap the bones backwards against the rotation that they're normally meant to go, and then so much testing to make sure that they didn't go completely wild. Minoru saved my life. She has these, and what's really odd is they have full physics, but if you go watch those cutscenes, they do not move. They do not do much. They gave her so many physics that do nothing, that half of them don't even work. So that shawl thing that goes around her head that's like constantly like banging about and moving, that's not physics. The stones that are on it that sort of like dangle off of it, they have proper physics. They're sort of like designed to sort of like float around, but the rest of that is keyframed animation. So when you load that up in the game without her physics, it's just stiff as a board. And then when you add the physics, the little like stones start bouncing around, and the rest of the shawl's just like, yeah, I'm here. What do you want from me? I'm uber starched. But when I added them to like the sleeves for Zelda, this is the result, and I am so thankful that it is in the game.
Yeah, it turned out really, really great.
Oh yes.
I didn't know that history for its creation in Zelda's
I
Ballad
broke
as well.
so many rules for Zelda's Ballad.
Broke all the laws.
Yeah,
I came up with a lot of things just by accident and testing and trying things. Like I was the first person to do an animation change, skeleton change.
Oh
Again,
yes.
making things transparent for dresses to change, and it was a fun time. And then even more fun to try and get it to do it again for Tears of the Kingdom. But here we are. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, because Rico changed the animation. Okay.
Referring to.
are we talking about the paraglider? Yeah, I think that was a.
Yeah. So I just noticed before, because like the physics are based on two things. They have a set amount of bend within the file that we can't edit. We can't even open that file, but I'm assuming they're the same as Breath of the Wild, which we can open. But what that means is if an animation goes beyond the point of where the natural bend is for the cloth animation, then it just clips back to the original state. It's sort of like a reset. So because Rico's changed the legs to sort of like point out like she does in Age of Calamity when she's paragliding, which is a nice touch. I love that. It changes the dress a little bit. So I might need to widen that.
Could you elaborate? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I see that you've got a troll squad. I see that you've got the I think the time and weather changes for Ultracam working,
Yes.
which is great. I haven't been able to do that myself. I should try to do that. But I noticed a little lightning effects on
Yes.
the dress.
Yes, so that is something I hadn't realized until the last thunderstorm that I had actually seen in game. I don't know if that was thanks to the Rico or Amiibolad, but isn't
That's
that
me.
interesting? Okay, awesome. Is it because I had never even known? Let me see if I can change the weather back. But that's something I just saw the other day, and I was like, "There's no way."
It's very striking. What was the Can you tell us a little bit more about the thought behind that, Amiibo?
So the original idea behind the ancient set here being placed over I can't remember any of their names. The thunder
Oh yeah, the charge
Pharos
set.
looking outfit, yeah.
Yeah.
Is because I wanted all of the outfits that are intrinsic to Zelda that everybody knows to be in the game as part of the story in some way. Like you need those ones. So you'll encounter those through natural gameplay. They're not going to be tied to Amiibo. They're not going to be ones that you can really sort of miss. And so because it also has a lot of, obvious lore significance being we have this Zelda in the past. Who is she? And then you find this outfit in the game anyway. It sort of adds to that sort of narrative of what's going on. And that's where we get to play as well. So when that happened, that game file has the ability to change the texture based on storms. And the first time it happened, it was completely mapped and wrong, and it looked really quite awful. But I thought, what if this isn't her original, this is a recreation, and it still has that ability because it's a gameplay ability. It's useful in the section of the game that you get it, and I didn't want to take that away from the player, so I worked it into the design so that it looks nice.
It turned out really well. And maybe folks have already played through that part, but to give a little bit of context for those who maybe haven't gotten that outfit yet, when there is a point in the game where you do get the charge set, and it's tied to the thing. It's tied to the quest for unlocking Minaru, right? And so you're in the zone. Yeah, that looks great. Oh,
Isn't that unreal?
Yeah, no kidding. And so there's during that part, you're in the Donai Ruins area, and you get 3 parts of the charged set, which a lot of people have noted as that it kind of looks like Rauru's outfit, and in thunderstorms you have that lightning sort of graphic effect on it, and it glows like that. So you've done a really, I guess people have seen it by now, but you've done a really great job with I think that I didn't even think about that. That's a great way to tie that in. It still ties into natural gameplay, and it still keeps that attack up in lightning storms ability and look. So that's amazing.
Pardon me for interrupting. Was there any other specific little things that I may not have noticed regarding other outfits? Because I know this one, you had released a mod. I don't think it's included. Yeah, it is. So this is another little outfit, the Mystic set. Amiibolad had personally. I'll let you go ahead on that.
So the original idea behind this was to create something that was a little bit more Ganondorf inspired, and I had a full coat, and it had all the correct physics and all that sort of thing. But unfortunately, because of the scaling of the bones, it sort of went a little bit haywire. So Rico has redesigned the top here, and when I went through, I removed from the original design the sort of the bloopy aspect of it, not because it was I guess the best way to put it was it didn't when you put Zelda's face in it she disappeared entirely. Like you could not see her anymore, and so I hate to use this terminology, but it was changed mostly by keeping it simpler. And I added an extra bit of the fringe across the top. And then with the pants, when you equip them, they give you a low gravity effect. So that creates a box that is as big as Hyrule on spawn. And the moment you put it on, everything in your immediate vicinity gets the low gravity effect as if you're in the temple. And it was mainly because a majority of people complained that you wearing this outfit, a majority of people didn't use it because it costs you money to use it, and a lot of people don't like that sort of super armor thing that happens in games. And so I wanted to make it. Thank you, Blackout. I completely agree. I was like, the bloopy stuff doesn't suit Zelda. It suits Link because like there's this real. Again, it plays to the goofiness of his character. Whereas with Zelda, it needed to be something a little bit more elegant. And have that feeling of utility rather than like she, as in my mind, wouldn't put this on if it didn't behoove her, you know, to break out an old word. So by adding the low gravity effect, the utility of this outfit also matches like a little bit more fun. It becomes a little bit more like it still maintains the goofiness of the original concept, but in a different way. And I thought in my, in my own personal canon, those old wuxia films where, they're jumping through treetops like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, sort of gives you that sort of vibe. Because you can literally just jump around.
I remember when you put, well, that's one of the first mods for Tears of the Kingdom that came out was these low gravity pants. And I honestly, I guess maybe a little bit of a tangent on that aspect of those pants. I think that's a great idea. I remember like I didn't really spend a lot of time in the low gravity parts. Like they're all the way up in the sky. I really can't be bothered to go up there. But like I really, I
Honestly.
enjoy that effect a lot. I think it's so fun. Like that's adorable. Like and then like Link makes his little whoop, like when he's like jumping around. Like it's adorable. I love it. But then like if you're just anywhere but the Skylands, you're not really using it a lot. You're not really in that environment a lot. So like, I always told myself like, and this hasn't really happened yet because I'm always modding and not really playing. But if I get back to playing, that would be one of the things that I install, just because like it's fun to have that effect, and I I would also prefer not to, for my clothes not to be stealing money from me.
Yes.
But so the fact that this was indeed added to Zelda's Ballad, I didn't realize that until you said it now. So I think that was a great decision. I think.
Let's see, does anyone
And it's
have, pardon me, on the team, or Amiibolad, anyone, what outfit should I wear next? Because I want to hear something different afterwards, after this discussion.
Oh sure.
I know, I really am, I'm a fan of the, let's see, what was I going to say? Obviously the classic, Royal Guard, but for Zelda, that one was, oof, I loved when you redid that one for Breath of the Wild. I know we still gotta change the hair, material for this one, because it looks like it has a metallic finish. But this one, ooh, I was doing my leisure stream the other night, and I had my Royal Guard outfit on in real life, and then I turned my face camera on with Zelda wearing this one, and I was like, could you imagine seeing both Link and Zelda in game in Royal Guard uniforms? And then now we have actual Zelda wearing the Royal Guard uniform.
Yeah, I think I saw that. That was cute, Girl Squad.
This design was a lot of fun to do. So I remember Yam Gaming came up with the idea of like as a broad shape. Like she really liked the idea of like a pillbox hat. And she was like, I don't know how to make this work. So I can see if I can have the original files on here and I'll send them to you. Let's... Oh no. Where'd my pen go? Oh, anyway, fingers it is then. Who put Windows 10 on this thing?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Alright. No. Oh, alright. Actually, probably just quicker to go to the Discord. I'm pretty sure it was posted there as well. But yeah, so the original design that I came up with, I looked at things like French uniforms from anywhere from the 1700s onwards. Lots of different military outfits, and then of course original concept art from creating a champion for Link, and then sort of combined all of those elements to create that. But the key, I think, that really differentiated it from Link's, but also sort of kept that sort of vibe, is actually the stripes on the dress. So that was taken directly from Link's design, but instead of being on the sleeves, I moved that to be the main feature because I fell in love with the idea of those two colors being sort of like the middle point between the sides. So if you look at the design, it's very blue down the sides, and that has the bridging piece in the middle, and then this red stripe down the middle to sort of divide them. And then the hat also incorporates the red as well in the top. And I just thought it was when I finished the picture, I was just like, oh, yeah, that's it. Let's see.
To answer a few comments in here, the earthquake ability there. The English dub voice is halfway complete, so the earthquake ability, and I believe also shooting arrows and a myriad of other sounds, they have not been touched yet, but they are still being worked on.
Thank you for adding that. Yes, I know some of y'all are just now tuning in, but just as an update to those of y'all who are just now joining us, this is another progress update for the current build of what is completed. So you will see a little bit of incomplete work in progress stuff, as well as, you know, finalized stuff here and there. But yeah, this is a ongoing project. It's not complete by any means, and I personally loved how Breath of the Wild's version of Zelda's Ballad took so many years, because it felt never ending in a way. Like it was just going to keep going, because that's what the project kind of looked like at the time. But that's kind of the vibe that I like moving forward. That's why we like to host a lot of art competitions, because we like to see your designs in game as well as adding to the mod. Just I personally, I'm not the one putting in all the legwork, but it's something that I like to see. It's like a flow, you know, the flow isn't ending, the community isn't going anywhere, nor is the team. But yeah, sorry, I just broke off to a whole separate thing right there.
I also just chucked the concept art that I did in the chat if you want to bring that.
Let me pull that up. I'd love to. Right. Keep getting hit by the talus
pummeled.
anyway. Yeah. Right. Hey, that's... Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, awesome. Here we are. This is Amiibolad's original design. It should populate pretty soon on the stream.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, look at that. I'll let you go if you want to say anything, Amiibolad, but I mean, does that not look like something that came straight out of the art book? Because it does.
The hardest part was actually thinking about what to do with her hair. Because obviously Zelda in Breath of the Wild had a lot more hair. And so the idea was, because it was, you know, a military outfit, that she would tie it back, which is very standard. You know, you don't want your hair being in the way. And so in the game, we decided on a bun with loose parts to sort of give that illusion that she had a lot more hair than she's, you know, displaying. But it just turned out we were future-proofing ourselves, because now it works perfectly without any changes.
And pardon me, thank you so much, Tardy Fry. I appreciate your contribution to the stream.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks
The
so
team
much.
appreciates you so much, and hello to you.
So yeah, this is this is actually a pretty good showing of what the design process sort of ends up being. Like my job otherwise is a concept artist, and I've worked on a couple of games in the past, and actually mostly stage productions. But so I design with the idea that you should be able to see all sides, that you can understand the breakdown of the outfit, like the individual parts. But the key to a design like this is making sure that it feels cohesive. And so, like, making sure that no one element is too strong comparative to another. So making sure that, like, all the colors sort of flow down. As you can see, like the hat, it's got that tiny little bit of red, but that allows the larger space of red to sort of not feel like it's eating everything around it. Yeah. And then even then, like, I don't know if you just saw then, but on the strip, there's a red strip on the pants. And that's like those sorts of things, they're the fun elements that I get to play with when I design. But then the rest of it is making sure that it feels like it belongs to A, Zelda, and B, the world that she's living in.
Just another beautiful, beautiful outfit. I do want to keep showing off some other unique ones, but not the best, because the best is for last. You will see. Well, we can go over if let's see what Amiibolad has to say, because a lot of these are transferred straight from Zelda's Ballad.
So I reworked a lot of the Amiibo outfits. I think the one that I really reworked was the Ocarina of Time set.
Okay.
Down,
Sure.
left, to the right. Yep.
Sure.
So originally, the outfit was a lot more in line with her body shape from Breath of the Wild, as far as like where the waist sat. It sat much lower, but because of the way that we were able to handle dresses, which these are all mix and matchable, which they were in the original Zelda's Ballad, but for different ways. We were I was able to lift the waist up so it matched where it is on Ocarina of Time Zelda. So it's a lot more. It's still Zelda's body type and shape, as far as like her dimensions don't get thinner, as far as, you know, more than what a belt would do. But the overall outfit is a lot more closer to Ocarina of Time than even Zelda's Ballad one was.
It's beautiful.
I love that hair as well. That was a rework entirely. So the original Zelda's Ballad hair is a little bit different to that. And I love the physics that we've been able to give it in this version.
You just see every little detail. I mean, it's you can't even. I'm gonna get off on a whole other thing here, but
The earrings need to be re-added back in. I'll make a note of that. And this is
Maybe
what this is helpful
hidden.
for us.
Looks like they're pushed back a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
So
you know what's going on.
That's probably due to physics. Yeah, they're hiding. I'll move
They're
the
back
point.
there. She just put them in the wrong spot
It's
today.
trendy.
She's eating them. Yum yum yum.
This is the new style,
and
as they say.
the other one that I'm quite proud of is Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. Yes. Oh, here we are.
And while you're doing that, I'll talk about dress physics. They're different. So again, completely reworked. So the original Zelda's Ballad one was quite boxy because we had to make sure that the dresses weren't in the way of the legs. But now we've got proper dress physics. Now the dress physics that are used here are Zelda's. So these, all of the dresses use the ancient outfit as their base for the physics, which is incredibly strong rig as far as the bones go. But the what's the best way to put it? Because of the way that the physics work, which like you can run around and it shouldn't give you any trouble. Yeah. It does mean that you can have multiple different sets that work. So if you go change the top for any other top that's been modded.
Yeah. A random one. The Skyward Sword. Upper.
Try the other one.
Which one were you
'Cause I
thinking?
try actual. Go back into the thing.
Yeah.
Try the Skyward Sword one down the bottom there. Down.
There we are. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So because of the way that it works, now you have mix and match, and I also color matched all of the whites to work with each other as best as I could. So
I was
now,
gonna say, because that's very seamless.
yeah, that took a while. That took a while to get working properly. But yeah, I wanted to be able to make sure that people could, again, create their own designs with sort of building blocks. These are no longer just outfits; they're building blocks. And again, thank you, Minoru, for those sleeve physics. Because this was also another outfit that a lot of people wanted, the Skyward Sword Goddess outfit, and it just wasn't doable properly in Breath of the Wild. So now it is.
Wow. Outfit, because oh my gosh, there's a story behind literally every single one of them. What would be a good? Let's see. Is this the Okay, this is the maiden outfit. This one I didn't see very much in Breath of the Wild, just because I never had that outfit in my inventory. But I think this is a pretty unique one as well. This comes straight from the art book, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So this one, if you can do me a favor, teleport to the depth.
The depths, you said?
Yes.
Awesome.
Somewhere dark.
I hope it's dark enough, because I've got the whole depths lit up right now.
It should work on location, hopefully.
Okay. Let's see. Oh my.
So if you turn around,
Briefly. No. Okay, I see exactly what's going on here.
Ooh.
so because the original Radiant set was an ode to Yam Gaming's heritage, and it was, again, because the original is obviously based on a Le Luchador. The original Zelda's Ballad was a flamenco dress. This design is from the Making a Champion art book. It is one of Zelda's attendants, and it was our original design for the replacement of the Royal Guard. When that was redesigned, it was an option. Like, we never really used it again. So when the original Radiant set gave us a lot of trouble because of those memory limitations that we had, and so it needed to be reworked over and over and over, and eventually it sort of became the bane of my existence. So when I had the chance to redo it here, I decided to use this outfit instead. And because the glowing, I thought there's going to be so much fun I can have here. So the pattern comes up and glows. I changed it to gold because I felt that that would be more in line with the idea of a royal holy maiden, over the like glow of the eerie green glow.
Yeah.
I still need to do the materials on the top, but that will also glow as well.
See, I see what you're talking about.
That's lovely.
Wow. And I mean, just to add to that, because these models are not in the game, so that's just another bit to add. I mean, from just making this like perfectly from the art book is just so impressive on top of all the other designs you've done. But you couldn't tell me that, this wasn't already in the game, because this looks like it came straight from the game files.
It really does.
They take forever. They take this, and it's just, I think I rewatched that one, like the maids appear in one cutscene.
Yes.
They're in one
They do.
cutscene.
One
And
for like
the
5 seconds.
Gerudo one, right?
yeah, and they bow. That's it. Woohoo! Well, that was money well spent for Nintendo, I'm sure. But like, just based on that, and then seeing the design in creating a champion, I fell in love with them because they're proof for me of like a deeper lore that Zelda has. Like, she has handmaidens. She's never had those before. She's had Impa. Like, that's the only person she's ever really had as like somebody. But no, of course she would have handmaidens. Of course there's this entire hierarchy and court system within royal family of Hyrule. And this sort of, I love those sorts of things. So being able to put that into this mod, just I love.
Right? Ah, and then the physics
now
that
it
we
has
get to take
wonderful
advantage
physics.
of. Right? Ah, we were saying the same thing at the same time, but look at it. I mean, the dress. Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
completely
my
mix and
gosh.
matchable. You can. One of my favorite versions is if you put on the snow quill. With that, it
The
looks quite
upper
nice. Yep.
or the. Oh wow. Okay. Let's see.
That's
I'm gonna
cute.
just switch briefly for a change of scenery. We're gonna go to the Zora's domain. I'll put on that outfit. Because that one, that's a classic. That one hasn't been touched in a while from what I remember, right? That one is straight from Zelda's Ballad as well. And then after I pull this one out, I'd love another suggestion for which one we should do next. 'Cause
Well, again, saving the best for last. Which one do you
Exactly.
think is the best?
Well, I think the most unique by far would be the Hero's Aspect outfit.
Yes.
I don't know if
I
that's the
agree.
one
And
you were
that's the
thinking.
lot of fun. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay, okay. Sweet. So yes, classic Zora outfit from Zelda's Ballad, obviously reworked for Zelda rather than Link. Something that always stood out to me for this one was the rainbow teeth, and I know it can be dyed, and I think there's an even more rainbow version, unless I'm wrong.
Yes. So there is a version. I need to go through and again implement that into Tears of the Kingdom, but there is a way to remove all of the scales effectively. Although it, no. Do you have that already, or is it just not? I need to go through and recheck all these as well, since we've just done an update as well. But the idea behind this, obviously, was, again, there's been an old switcheroo, and now everything is for Zelda. So why would Mifa make something like that for Zelda? Why would she give links to Zelda? That's not how that works in my head. There's no, like, personally, there's no deeper lore other than, like, she made it for her friend, or, whatever people wish to place upon that, that's up to them. But as far as I'm concerned, like, when I designed it, it was me for designing something for Zelda, and so it has a lot more, again, flair and sort of elegance to it, even though like it's designed to be a warrior's outfit still. Like it's got those teeth. Yes, they're rainbow, but they're still, you know, they're sharp. They're meant to be intimidating. And then the idea, like those scales match all the different colors from the Zoras. So there's the idea of, you know, obviously somebody that would defend the Zora people as well. But yeah.
Another beautiful, beautiful work of art, as the whole project is a beautiful work of art. So
And
yeah,
then,
and
yeah,
then we
she's
get to see
also
the
got a sash because
lappies
she's
as well.
royalty.
Oh yeah, the sash. Okay, I didn't even until you pointed it out. All these little details I don't even notice. Well, what would you suggest for our next little outfit?
Let's have a look what you've got. I think one that should be touched upon because I think it was the one that made the mod. It was the first one that I got asked about. And we're back. The Flamebreaker,
Ooh, awesome.
because that's been reworked entirely for.
Teleport as well for the change of scenery just to fit outfit. Oh man, I remember when this one was first recreated by you. It just, I mean, all these are just so lore accurate. I mean, it's literally from their world, but for Zelda. It's just unbelievable. All
The
right, here we
original
are.
design idea, because I was Ocarina of Time. A lot of the older sort of elements came from the previous lore and how has this been solved in the past. And so when I approached the original design in Zelda's Ballad, I didn't really think somebody would expect her to wear a tin can. Not when you read the lore behind the way that outfits work, and like they're saying there's crushed sapphires in things and that allows you to be cool and stuff like that. So that's why the inside is completely blue. Like and she's got sapphires which are embedded into the golden gauntlets. Again, all very Ocarina of Time coded. And then if you go down to the belt in the top, like gold, so you've got the Goron pendant on the belt at the lower, but if you go to the belt that's on her top, that has the fire medallion as its center point. So just across her chest. And then she's got another Goron medallion behind her. So yeah, that is the actual file from Ocarina of Time. I took that and turned it into a normal map and then used that to create that effect. The original design had longer hair. She obviously doesn't have it now. So that's actually an allusion to a completely different game series that I love, which is Final Fantasy X-2. In that, for an inexplicable reason, the main character in that, her hair grows like, she goes from having like, I guess, shoulder length hair to like at her knees within the space of 5 years. And it's ridiculous. And I loved that idea, that she just has to wrap all this hair. So the idea here is that that's an attachment that comes to the back, to sort of finish the hood. So it's not her actual hair, they've just added, then that's why like the hair at the end is like really spiky, because it's actually like a fur or something like that that just matches her hair color. And then I went through and added these very triangular sort of designs down the side of the coat, which aren't there on the original design, to match the mountain. So it's designed to look like the Goron ruby that then is trapped beneath all of these rocks and rubble and spikes, and so they're the different mountains coming out, and then the middle looks like a volcano exploding. And then again, another hidden, if you combine the two elements, there's another hidden Goron emblem on the back.
It's a beautiful outfit. Some great camera control from you too, Control Squad, by the way. I know that's a tangent, but good job there. I'm gonna have to ask you for tips later.
I think the Zonai go down 2. So I haven't changed the headdress as of yet, but the rest of the outfit has some nice little elements thrown in. Have all the circlets hairs been changed? Yes, so that's a competition outfit. Which is adorable. So for the people who are joining us, we hold regular competitions regarding designs, and they will be added to the game in some way, shape, or form. So we host those on the Discord. We announce when they're coming, and you know the theme. There's always a theme regarding what we're sort of. It's very open to interpretation. Like we don't expressly tell you can't do this or can't have that, but we just ask that you sort of keep it into the theme, and then it's completely peer voted. So everybody on the Discord gets a chance to vote for their favorite, and then yeah, makes its way in game.
So this one is the winner of the holiday, the festive holiday outfit that was in December, January-ish, recently. So that was my entry. Thank you all again for the votes. I basically added Rauru's ears to this snow cool outfit. I thought it looked pretty festive already, and I figured I would just add a little festive thing with earrings, green and red.
I've been muted this whole time and I just realized.
Oh,
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yes, so I've been making little comments and I didn't realize that I wasn't being heard. Let's see. If you could send me, SpaceGeorge, your design for this, because I was trying to say that. If you could send me your actual design so I can pull it up on screen. Sorry, y'all, I don't realize how long I've been muted. But I would consider this one almost finalized because the tassels still need physics. That's something I think Rico needed to figure out. So that it's a beautiful submission.
I'll have a discussion with him because I'm pretty sure we should be able to use Raru's actual, not to sound gross, his head physics, and that should work. So I'll work with him on that.
How long have I been away? Has it been like 5-10 minutes ish?
Yeah, about
possibly.
between, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'm glad y'all were saying exactly what I was saying. I mean, you were commenting on the things I was commenting on, so that worked out then.
Okay. There's the design for you there in the chat whenever you're ready.
Everyone take a look at what it looks like in-game versus the actual submission, because it's stunning, as are all of our beautiful pieces of art that people have submitted throughout the years. But this is another one I would consider very, very lore accurate. I mean, once I pull this up, you'll see what I mean. It's very comes straight from the game. I mean, it's indistinguishable quality. So I'll let you go over this a little bit if you like, SpaceGeorge.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, so I was very inspired by Raru's ears. I'm like, well, fluffy, kind of wintry looking style there. And so I took that and I took his ears, also his little kind of front bangs, with the hair ties. I thought that was like, extra floof. To go with I thought that went really well with her existing Snowquill outfit, as well as the little holly berries. And then I tried to put other little embellishments from Sonia's concept art, like on her pants, and then also little tear embellishments from her ancient design. So there's like a little tear detail on her belt. I did
Love
also.
the tail.
Thanks. Yeah, I did put a little tail. It's kind of small, but a little fluffy tail. Uh, and so and a little bit of from the concept art from Sonia in there. I tried to like emphasize the little hourglass. And then I also have a lot of fun with the writing. I enjoy, that was one of my first mods getting started doing text modding. So I enjoyed writing the little descriptions as well, trying to put a little bit of wordplay, Silent Night, Sage of Light,
Yes. Yes.
So, so
Oh my gosh, it just ties
yeah.
together so perfectly.
Thank
Hold
you.
back the game up again. Beautiful submission. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Yes, I mean, like Amiibolad was saying earlier, we host these pretty regularly. We like to do at least a few every year. The next one has not been decided nor announced yet. I believe the latest one was the TheRicoLicious. Oh, that's quite a plural. The TheRicoLicious's dark outfit
I
contest.
think it's BravelyPeculiar.
There we go. There we go. TheRicoLicious. I like that. Oh my gosh. But that one we don't quite have in game yet, unless I am mistaken. I will try to pull that up. I could be wrong. It may actually. Nope, not quite yet. This is a different thing entirely. So let's not even. This is still being worked on.
Yes. The
Teacher outfit.
yes.
This one is still being finalized, correct? Or is this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll switch off.
I think it needs to just have a little bit of refining. Just in the way of like finalizing the overall cohesiveness of the outfit. But it looks good. It looks good so far. The adding the hairpin at the back, that was a fun thing I did. So it has the hair has separate physics for the tiny little ponytail that she gets at the back.
Yeah, if y'all remember back to Zelda's Ballad, this is the outfit that had the curly hair instead.
Hmm.
The luscious curls, the beautiful curls.
Which I designed after the Rito.
Ah, yes.
So
Okay.
The Rito women tend to have a lot of loops and big hair. So I thought that would be something they would do for Zelda is they'd curl her hair. But yeah, I much prefer this as a very subtle sort of. It's a no nonsense hairstyle, but it's like the little wings at the back. I think it's just adorable.
They are. It really works out nicely.
Yeah, so like lots of curls, they're very I would say grease coated. They look like they belong in the Grease musical.
I wish I could understand any pop culture reference, but I've been under a rock in my hermit shell for like 7 years now. So I haven't seen a lot of media that my friends are like referencing to. But I know of Greece.
Yeah, I'll put out Captain America. I understood that reference.
And one of the other outfits I think is going to be a cool, like once they're all done, it's going to be an addition. So if you head back and have a look at the Divine Beast helms.
I know one of them causes my game to crash, but I think it's the Rudania. Which one were you thinking of?
I'm
I know the
pretty
one with
sure.
the lime green is the Von Meadow.
Yeah, go Varmeadow.
There we are. Ooh, how fun.
Wow.
So this is that was a lot of fun to make. It's based on interesting. The rigging seems to have had an issue there. I wonder why that's anyway. Noted. And this is why we test. So these are based on the Oracle of Ages and the Oracle of Seasons. So all three of the sages, well, the oracles / goddesses, have a hairstyle that's available in game. And so because why not? Yep. And eventually we're going to add the rest of their outfits as an ode to those games because, well, personally, I think they're amazing games, and these are, I think, they're a big part of the lore for Zelda that they don't really see much of light anymore. So like everybody knows the golden goddesses, but nobody really knows much about them as far as like they appear in these games because they're not even referenced. So I thought this would be a nice way to, because it's Zelda, she obviously would know the golden goddesses, to throw in a reference to them.
And
Yeah,
let's see, what
pretty
would
nice.
the other helmets replace? Because I'm only gonna safely pick another one. Here we go. There's a story behind this. I think this must have been Rico's something. Looks like a addition to the ancient outfit, which I don't believe I have right now.
Yes, so that does look like the hair and the glasses. The glasses look a little broken, apparently, but that's...
She must have just dropped them when she woke up, stepped on them on accident.
Yeah, it
Gotta go get
happens.
a new pair. Actually, speaking of that, I'm gonna go over there and see if I can purchase. That's where he sells them, right? Is still at the tech lab? Or am I mistaken?
The ancient set isn't in the game anymore.
Oh my god, I'm being silly. Whoa, that's a deep breath for me. Okay. That would have been replaced by the Zonai set then. If I'm thinking of it like that. I can't believe that's not in the game anymore. That's a trip.
Yeah, so if you go to the Zonai set, over 2.
Here we are. Got that fully equipped. Was this one? I couldn't tell because I saw Link's hair, but has this one been? Yeah, it looks like it's
Yes.
been. Okay, yeah.
So it now sports. It's for a female woman. A female woman. Go words.
A female
So
one.
it's for feminine. It's for a feminine form. And I added in the stage colors.
Sure.
So
Okay, now I
white.
see.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit more fitted.
There we go. Looks awesome. And of course the physics. Very, very small details that just pop when you notice them. Little, what we call these tassels around the thighs.
Yeah, the tassel on the under armor on the top, and then I see what you mean. The kind of piece of cloth that hangs down in the front from her
Yeah.
from the ancient dress. That's lovely. Yeah.
It because I looked at the design elements that they have in the art book, and I noticed that one of the things that a lot of the female characters have is a tabard, which is that piece of cloth at the front.
Hmm.
And so I thought, naturally, if this would probably be what one of the female warriors look like, very similar to the men, because there's no reason to distinguish other than utility. But that extra little bit of and also creating like the chest wrap um, was a lot of fun as well. Like thinking, would it be more elaborate? Would it be tied? Like how would it go over? Would it be those sorts of questions? But it's like no, it would be very much in the idea of function over anything else. And then
Oh.
making sure that it all moves very nicely.
I make another suggestion because I do not want to get the best just yet. I'm gonna go over to the desert, so feature the pretty simple, just another redesign of the not redesign, but reformation of the Yiga clan outfit.
So this one, because it has lore specific requirements within the game, is kept as close to the base as possible. It's literally just made to fit Zelda. I had a lot of people suggesting a whole bunch of different things, which you take them on board as far as like how far do you push it, like how much do you change it, but ultimately whenever I moved it too far away from what the Yiga sort of present as, it just felt strange as for what it will eventually do in game. And I think that's one of the hardest things when you're modding something, is having that restraint to go, okay, I could change it to anything. But then a person who, like, I've had people say that they want to play Tears of the Kingdom for the first time as Zelda. They want their first experience to be our mod. And I don't want to take away what is intrinsically the gameplay of the game for the sake of for the sake of an aesthetic. So this outfit here just effectively became female Yiga, which doesn't exist, but they're not the smartest characters in the world, so I thought, they're probably not going to notice if somebody's got slightly wider hips than
Yeah. Be a little
They're not
oversight, they wouldn't know. Oh my gosh. They would literally have no idea though. What would be another little outfit? Because I know just I could show off the different elemental dragon outfits other than the one that we know and love, the Farash outfit.
There is the Vo outfit.
The Vo, yes, yes. I'm gonna take us to Gerudo Town for that one. Okay, I'll let you start on that before I get off on another tangent.
The original idea was to have the goddess references be within these, but these in themselves are already a reference. So I decided to leave them majoritively the same. I toyed around with the idea of maybe making them not all have pants, but then when the lightning, like the charged outfit changed, like sort of like solved my problem there. But I actually really just love the original designs. I think they're probably some of the best like outfits in Tears of the Kingdom as for how unique they feel, and just how well they sort of suit that old regal, mystical sensibility. And then we have the Vote outfit, which is a reworking of the idea for the original outfit that Link has. Again, I decided to keep the pants as much as possible, sort of for the cohesiveness of the world, and the Vi outfit not existing anymore, which upsets me because I loved that design for Zelda's Ballad. And I feel like we'll probably end up adding it back in as an extra outfit anyway. But I thought, well, what would Zelda have if she was to wear a battle outfit? Because in the original Zelda's Ballad, it's a very different outfit. It's more closely based on the guards. It's less it looks like she's been given a guard uniform, which in my head sort of suited the idea of the secret shop, just sort of like hawking these guard uniforms. Whereas in this one, I wanted it to feel like it belonged more to her, like she's battle worn. It has those elements of the old one, but she's had time to sort of, to rework it to suit her personality a little bit more. So it's a little bit more rugged and verbosa sort of feel.
Yeah.
Like with the headband, having the same sort of patterning and sort of vibe as Urbosa's, and the pauldron especially having that feeling as well.
Just another phenomenal design.
And
Time for that
I
drink.
love that her hair gets like little twists at the front. I thought that was really cute.
Right?
The hair's really cute.
Isn't it? Yeah, I like to wear, in real life, I like to wear my hair kind of parted. Not like that, but I like to make my hair flow off to the right side of my head, kind of like how it is in this one. It just reminds me of Link's actual hair from Breath of the Wild, but I like how, like, it's just flowing, everything is just so free-flowing. Just across the whole mod, all the physics that have been figured out have just allowed these outfits to be even more phenomenal than they already were. Right, what would be another... There's a good little story, but I don't think... Has the Froggy been... Yeah, it's been refitted. But I'm so familiar with the Shattered Prophecy now that I don't even really... I'm not versed in the base game Link outfits anymore. Like, I don't even know exactly what they're supposed to look like. But from what I'm gathering, this one has just been refitted.
Yes, but it was refitted using a technique which was quite interesting. So I have a base body that is effectively just Zelda's skin. It sounds horrible to say. I feel like a game, but the idea behind this outfit here was when I originally did all of the sculpting to get it to fit Zelda, it had a lot of skin showing, and that can get a little bit funky when it's warped and moved around because it is a very specific sort of meth form. And what ended up happening is I got the suit into position quite easily, but it didn't connect to the skin very well, and so it had these weird parts that would poke through and all that sort of thing. So what I ended up doing is getting another version of her skin and using the...
Go ahead, sorry.
So what ends up happening is I use a modifier in Blender to fling the skin into position on top of the base body, which then created a perfect map of where her skin would appear underneath, and then I just cut it out using a Boolean tool, which means that anywhere that the model overlaps, it deletes the part that's overlapped and leaves only the part that's bare, which created the perfect shape to fit where her skin is.
See? Oh. I haven't heard that word in so long. Boolean, or
Boolean.
Boole. How's it even spelled? Boolean. Bean?
Lean. That sounds right.
Boolean.
God, that reminds
Boolean.
me of like years ago when I took my first little coding class.
Programming. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
great.
Doesn't it?
And that way the tattoos are all correct, and it didn't drive me insane to have to reskin this little part. So,
Wow.
and this is what I think is the most beautiful part about learning modding, is how much it teaches me to make things better, to get faster at doing it, to think outside the box. But yeah, I never would have even dreamed that I could make something like that without this. So I'm so thankful for being able to work on this.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go up to. We'll find a certain entity that flies in the sky, and then I will showcase the best for last before we call it a stream.
Alrighty.
Let's see. I know we had a few other notes included on here from TheRicoLicious, but unfortunately he just couldn't join us today. You all will be guaranteed to see him at one of the next meetings we have over. Oh my gosh, let me just start from the top. One of the next streams we do, progress update streams, Rico will likely be there. There's a lot he did want to touch on today, but that's just regarding his own progress in the mod, because he's been taking the lead as far as models and textures and stuff like that. But like we've been saying, this is all a collaborative work. We've all been putting, the whole team has been putting in energy in certain aspects. That's why it is what it is. The Shattered Prophecy is not made by one entity, it's a team of multiple people.
Yeah.
Nowadays we could say Juliesgloom, Jrhall, SpaceGeorge, Amiibolad, TheRicoLicious, and then a lot of other contributors along the way. That would be a good summary of the team. If I'm forgetting anyone, please correct me, but I think that's a good
No,
that's a good
that sounds
list,
good.
right?
Yeah. And of course, as with all contributors, they'll be properly credited and thanked for their work upon release.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see a couple shoutouts to the 5th tier and also Lord Bubbles for some internal workings and RSTV contributions respectively. So thank you to those folks as well.
Thank you so much. Right, now the challenge will be, I guess it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. I can find the dragon pretty quickly with free cam. Where are you? Where are ya?
Where are you?
Where are you?
Sorry.
But for real, where are you? I'm in the sky. Maybe I should just... I don't necessarily want to do the whole boss fight right now, but that may be a good way to just end the stream off. We'll just go ahead and do that then, and then we'll see our friend in the sky,
In my
as
head, I'm
well
just
as
going.
the special outfit.
Da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
The
Will there
skyward sword.
be another update video prior to the slated release? Yes, we will be sure to updating you via the Discord and my YouTube channel, but assuming that new link that I posted in the chat works, that's exactly where you can find the Zelda's Ballad Discord. That's where we post the latest and greatest sneak peeks, updates, personal voice chats, direct replies to the team can be found there. Blah blah blah. I need to focus on what I'm trying to do, because when I talk I can't play. Let's see. Head down here. Do good old boss sequence. I'll dress as classic Breath of the Wild Zelda for this one. Have a little flashback moment. Actually, where is that tunic? Does it be right there?
So if you put on the other one, like the main one,
Alright.
over. No, go back to the actual outfit. There. So this is special. I set it up so that if you put on this hair, the cape disappears.
Awesome.
You know.
Okay. I was wondering because I know when I don't have this certain. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. It's one of those. Could you explain a little bit how that works in the chat? Because you're obviously the one that knows how that works. Pretty cool
Yes.
though.
So in the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, there is something called the Mant system or mantle that they developed for moving between two separate models, an A and a B model, for slight adjustments for different outfits. And so I abused it here, so that when he puts on something that has a longer hair, it just completely removes the hood entirely. So it's a bit of coding. It still needs tweaking, but it's a general fix for people who want Breath of the Wild Zelda versus Tears of the Kingdom Zelda. Both are valid.
I'm ready to make my journey. I think at
Boosted.
least.
Triple boosted.
Yes, got to do the speed run situation. I
I
can't
think one of the
stand.
things-
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that upsets me is that I can't do memory editing on the fly and just be like, no, I cannot die.
Yes, yes. I think I know what you're talking about. But now I have to literally. Just on
Fight for
another note,
yourself.
every time I go through here for a stream or a video, I can't stand not to do it with speed boost. Actually, I can teleport with this free cam, so I'm gonna do that. Just literally go where we need to go, because it's gonna take me longer than I have the patience for.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, you can teleport with the. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a save on mine. I have a save point right. I think on the jump point right before you get down
Yeah,
there.
same.
A little bit more convenient that way, but you know, whatever works.
Moving too
Good.
fast with it.
And then I threw a bunch of rubies. Rubies weirdly overpowered in this game, but I did one thing we didn't touch on, since we weren't able to find the light dragon in the sky, I did slightly rework the theme just to overlay pretty subtly Link's overworld theme on top of it. But since we didn't get to it today, I'm sure we'll find another time to get to it. Just because she was kind of hard to find today.
Little commands page, because I'll just get there really quick. Command is not off the top of my head, because why would it be? The teleport link.
Are you using the keyboard, by the way?
I am using my controller for the commands.
I have to look at that some more. I gotta fine tune my movements. I'm gotta practice.
I may be wasting time here, but this should be working for what I'm doing wrong, actually.
It knows you're in a hurry.
Yeah,
That's
it's reacting
exactly
to
what it is.
that.
That's exactly what it is. Let's be honest. Alright, we'll just do a little...
It smells weird.
If you did, honestly, SpaceGeorge, if you did want to send me that save file, I may be able to throw it in briefly, but not too sure.
Oh, okay. Let me see here.
Although,
no,
when you teleport right here,
What was that?
if you teleport out of like this area where Lionel isn't trying to kill you, it might.
Yeah. Smart. Smart. I'm actually just hurting Zelda right now, poor thing.
I'll try.
First lane.
Okay, I think this should actually be the one. Oh, it's too big.
Yeah, if not, no worries at all, because I'm going. Okay. Lionel, situation, no stamina equals
No.
frustration. I'm so sorry, Zelda. I do not mean to be doing this to you right now.
This is why you have 999 fairies.
Yeah, I was
Literally.
gonna say that.
We'll be okay.
How many fairies does it take to climb a wall?
Okay, in Breath of the Wild, when you're out in the open, I can understand how a Lionel can shoot into the air and hit you with an arrow, but can we explain that when you're underground and it's literally just coming from a rock? Like, how's your arrow hitting me? This is speedrunner strategy right here. Just infinite berries and speed boost.
We just face slam into the ground.
Oh my gosh. Now let's see if I can briefly. That's so frustrating. Okay. No worries.
Let's see. If you're still not there by the time that I get this thing up, then I can ascend it.
Alright, yeah, it should be good shortly. Now let's do the Malice Hand situation, of course.
Oh, they're only mildly terrifying.
Yeah, those things are. I remember first encountering one and not being able to run away from them fast enough and teleporting out of a panic.
They truly are the guardians of this game.
Let's
I
see.
should not have done.
Oh, why did I do this? I moved my save point somewhere else because I wanted to look at someone else. Okay.
I owe everyone an apology for the one heart situation, because that's going to annoy me personally. Is there any way I can heal my cracked hearts before the fight?
I mean,
Maybe save and
as long
reload
as you
or something?
keep getting as long as you just keep getting regenerated by fairies, then like you'll always get the 5. You'll always get the 5 back.
Oh, okay, so I should take a little...
If you just
death
stand in it for a
damage.
second.
Yeah. Some malice going. Or gloom.
Dang.
There we go.
Why won't you let me die?
Please.
Okay.
There we go.
You there? Oh, okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, you got it.
Okay, so just to confirm, we have the new entity's music packed in, I believe.
Yeah, but that only happens if like you encounter her normally, not during her boss fight. So that's
Okay, okay.
yeah, that's okay. I'm not gonna make you.
I'd love to, honestly. I just want to leave off on a strong note. And I always feel like the easiest conclusion to any stream is like fighting Ganon. In Breath of the Wild, it was a lot quicker than literally traversing all the way through the ground and then doing the multiple stages.
Yeah,
But
they did more of a build up.
yeah, it's definitely a lot more of an experience now, which I appreciate.
It really does feel like they went, we've got a really epic opening and a really epic closing. And nothing in, but no.
Almost.
Like,
Almost something in between.
Almost something in between. Like, I would say, the way that they handled the individual, like, races' problems. Like, I love the sludge, I love the desert storms, I love the blizzard in the Rito village and all that sort of stuff. I just wish that they would learn that you can be open world and linear at the same time. Skyrim,
Yes.
people. Skyrim is the most open world game you can ever have, but its story is linear.
No, that was something I was actually theorizing before the game came out. I was really hoping that they would introduce more linear aspects back into the game, because that gives me direction, and I feel like it's more of a story personally when I'm being Because, like
Yeah.
you said, they can meld open world and, you know, like linear aspects together in a perfect way, but they just chose not to.
You threw down
I
the
will never forgive them for making it so that the sages all just say the same thing.
Okay, that needs
Yeah,
an explanation, because what is up with that? Like,
Demon King? Secret Stone?
Do you want some secret stone? We got secret stone.
So that was the
I'm not going to tell you my name. I don't have one.
What's your name? I've never had one. From the Snell's game.
Sage. They're all named Sage. Family's a big bunch of misses. Oh.
Yeah, I was definitely talking about that in the server the other day. One of the biggest downfalls that, yeah, linear story, but they still put the memory mechanic in there. So I, like a bunch of other people, really, really anxious about wanting to know what happened to Zelda next. So speed ran all the memories before having finished all the shrines, and I was like, dungeons, and I was like, well, okay. And then that obviously doesn't affect anything that the sages say, or that
Yeah, that anyone says. Or does.
hey, yeah, so they're like, oh, where's Zelda? And you're like, wouldn't you like to know?
yes.
He doesn't say anything.
Like the biggest asshole in the world. Where's Zelda? And he's just like, I don't know.
No, but I relate to that. I think I had told you the last stream as well. That's kind of how I played. I rushed through. I wanted to see the story so bad. But I didn't play it any other way, but that changes the experience.
It really does take the wind out of the sails.
I felt so bad because Impa, she's sitting there, she's like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to figure out what's happened to Zelda. And she spends her entire life in her room and you're just sitting there going,
I wonder what happened to her.
Like,
Literally.
reviews at that point.
Oh my gosh. Impa.
Yeah.
I think it's when you can't, like, Nintendo seems to be such a company of absolutes. It is all this way or all that way. We can never do what we've done before. We have to always do something new. And it's like, chill. How about focus on what you're good at that you know that people want? People play Zelda because of the gameplay and the story. Nobody sits there and goes, "Oh my god, Majora's Mask has amazing gameplay only." No, people go, "That game broke my heart." So that's what, like, not saying that Zelda needs to be that, but it should have those elements. And I don't know what happened, but they've just gone, no, we only do the gameplay and everything else just seems so secondary nowadays. But I just, when they came up with that memory idea, I wish they'd made them playable. If they made them playable, I think it would have been so much more forgivable. But
And it seems so doable within the context of what's going on, you know? I mean, for them it would just be like a shrine. Like, it would be so easy to make that playable.
you just have a slight, like, it is a slight, and this is where it comes down to, oh no, like, you can't be trapped in any way, shape, or form. It must be open air. Like, the moment you are not within a building, you should have no obstacles that you can't overcome, is something that I think is what stopped them. Because they could create these little areas that just, like the opening of the game. That doesn't exist in the way that it exists at the opening of the game.
That gloom.
You know, you load into your own little area that has Ganondorf at the end here in Tears of the Kingdom. They could have done that for each of the playable memories, for each of the memories, and they just didn't.
Yeah, see, that's something I was touching on with Commonwealth the other day. I was on a call with him. There was just so much potential that wasn't utilized. I mean, they could have done so many different things. Not to, like, badmouth the game or anything, but there's a lot of interpretations, and I agree with a lot of them. A long black screen. I wonder what's up with that. If this doesn't work out, I may organically find our entity in the sky because I do want to hear that music for the stream. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little switcheroo here, which we'll pull off.
And modding the trials and tribulations.
And it's Princess and the Frog.
Hmm.
What song is that? Let's see.
Song's not very catchy.
Yeah, something I have in my head from is almost there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost there.
Yeah, that was the.
Yes, that's the one.
That was, yeah.
I'm almost there.
Almost there. It's so good.
Gotta have like a singing stream. We just all get on here and start.
Karaoke stream.
I would do a
Would you
karaoke
like
stream
to have some
100%.
karaoke?
That's actually something I'm thinking about doing for celebrating one of my upcoming birthdays, is doing a karaoke lounge
nice.
situation.
That's lovely.
The adult words will be withheld because I don't know what kind of target audience we've got right now. Also, supposedly, which I believe, according to my YouTube statistics, over like 75% of my audience is older than me, which I greatly appreciate because the series is definitely older than me, and it's fascinating to me. Let's see. Where are you, organic sky entity? Come on. Can I speak to the Great Deku Tree or something, or is that only during the Master Sword situation?
Do you have the Master Sword right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not gonna tell you where she is.
You should be able to track her though.
That's what I
Really?
was thinking. How do you do that?
You
Can you track her?
Yeah, you track her like you can with pretty much anything else, because you can track her item that she drops.
Okay,
Oh.
let's do that. I haven't even looked into that
Oh, like
functionality in
the
game.
sensor? Are you able?
Is that
I
what
haven't
you're
played with
referring
that
to?
much.
Yeah, this if you go to the sensor, the compendium, you should
That's
have her
just
right at the bottom.
In the materials section.
do
Up
the light
one
shard or
more.
something like that.
Not the light chart. Up one more section, and then I guess to a light scale or
Light scale,
yeah.
horn. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the, I think the very end there.
Let's
Do you
see.
see that?
Don't forget, y'all are just a little bit delayed behind me. So I think I am on the right tab now.
Oh, okay, good.
There we are. Let's see. Target with sensor.
Yeah, I am a little delayed.
I have still yet to even target anything in this game. There's so many features I haven't used because I haven't been playing it. Okay, let's turn on. Let's turn off Pro HUD. Yeah.
Doesn't it only go off if you're next to it, Amiibolad? Isn't that how that?
So if you go to a sky island, preferably the Great Sky Island. I see what they did there. She's usually near there, or she comes out at the Hebra, on the Hebra ranges.
Okay, sweet. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, because I'm not familiar with anything.
Oh no, not Hebra. Tabantha.
Tabantha. Okay.
Snowy area.
Increase the field of
Does
view
she also hang out by the that peninsula where you unlock that memory?
Yeah, she can after you've unlocked that memory. So she has a couple of places because she's like every other dragon. She sort of goes underground and then pops out of another one.
Oh, does she go underground?
She does it,
okay.
Yeah, she does it the most though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like as far as other dragons, they only have 2, whereas she has 4 points that she can emerge from.
Yeah, I didn't know that she does that. I have
unfortunate because
I have a save. Yeah, I have a save point where you're just right above her. Wait, I wonder if I can look that up right now too.
Yeah, that's
Let me see.
worth looking into if you like, because this is a pretty integral part of what I wanted to show. We'll
Okay, let me see.
find this entity either way.
Mhm.
To Bantha?
So if you go down to the Gerudo area, Panther's up there. Because she appears like up here near the Ganondorf things, but she can also appear down the tower here. Yep, that one. They were just on. Down. In the Gerudo.
I think it's
Highland
this-
Skyview. Ish.
Okay, I'm gonna try this
Yep.
one.
And then so try that one.
Alright.
Okay, I'm gonna try
And if
it.
not, then it's the other Gerudo one. But every time I've teleported there, she's just like, hello.
Okay, so I did put a save file up that should be right on top, like on the topmost of the Great Sky Island, and then like the marker for her is activated, so you should be able to, if you use it, I'll let you do whatever you're doing, but
I'm actually multitasking. I've got it going in the background. Like, I'm literally
Okay.
using two hands. I've got my controller in one, and then
Oh my god.
my mouse in my right. Yeah, because I don't see the dragon here at all, but this
Yes, you are Sakurai.
should... Stop.
Oh
Oh my gosh. Dragon ahead. Dot. Zip.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. So like you should be able to see, like I have the glide outfit on too. You should be able to just kind of go right over to her and she's just up ahead.
Desktop leak again.
Do you have all of the outfits?
I don't
Me?
believe so. Are you talking to me?
No, to George.
Oh, yes, I do have. Oh, wait, yes, on that save file, yes, I do have all of the outfits. Okay. Yeah, I realized what you were asking me, like,
Black screen. Oh, actually, there we go. Now my game capture is working correctly. But no more desktop leak. I'll just go to stop emulation.
Okay, fingers
Or
crossed.
should I say stop running game on my Switch? Hee hee.
Yes, your Switch
Hee hee.
overclock.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Your 4K Switch.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's see how this goes out. This should be good to go. Correctly is the question. I am now. Blah blah blah. We love the team. The team slays. They don't decay. Preach sisters. Preach sisses and sisters and brothers and mothers. Everyone in between.
Fantastic.
We slay the day. Decay. Or do we dismay? Is that? Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah.
Are you freestyling right now?
You should hear me in real life when I'm talking to my coworkers and my friends. I say the dumbest things, and I don't stop. I literally don't
Like,
stop.
all right, bars.
Just, do you want us to drop a beat? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, you guys know
No, I'm
Nikki,
not
of
good.
course, right? Bees in the trap. Hey yo, hackers ain't crap, and they ain't saying nothing. 100 mother hackers can't tell me nothing. Bees in the trap, bees in the trap.
Nice.
Thank you, Nikki. Very poetic. I won't go too far because every time I try to speak the PG version or sing the PG version of any Nicki song, I can't get through without making a mistake. Okay. But yeah, to those of y'all still in the chat, do you have any closing thoughts or questions before we wrap up? we did want to show you one final thing before we let you go. Because I really enjoy everything regarding this mod, but especially now we have a musical edition.
Mm.
Here we are.
Continue.
This is
Okay,
the
yeah,
right
there you
save,
go.
right?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
You should be able to, yeah, you should be able to go up ahead and then right on top of her. And it's kind of quiet, so you'll want to turn your volume up a bit.
Oh yes, thank you for the reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So the overlaid Link overworld theme. So I tried to put it in this. I adjusted it so it'd be in the same key, and I tried to overlay. I overlaid it with another Erhu and then or who I think I'm not. I'm hoping I
I know
pronounced
what you're
that right.
speaking of. Yeah, the
Yeah,
ERHU or something.
yeah,
EUR.
that instrument, and then plus a little bit of a choir, a chorus VST that I found as well. So it's like da 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 da, and then like when you get to the da da da, it kind of goes more into the singing part. So it's kind of subtle. I couldn't figure out a way to nicely remove Zelda's theme in the back. Oh wait, oh free cam. Okay, I think it would be best if you reset the camera to your point of view. She should be right below you. Yeah, I
Oh, is
think
that?
that might even
There we
be.
are. Okay, that's the tracker. There we go.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
the tracker, and then yeah, you've got the outfit on. Yeah, she's right over there, so you should be able to just jump off.
Get it.
Yeah, she's right over there. Yeah, she's just down there, and you can dive fast and do all that stuff. Yeah,
More
yeah,
HUD.
get her after
Get her.
her.
Enjoy some skydiving theme before we get into the other beautiful piece of music. Yes. The skydiving is one of my favorite songs from this game, and it's so subtle, so simple, but
Yeah.
it just, I can hear myself falling through the sky.
Although I had the audio turned off on my end. So,
Oh wait, who is that? Question mark?
That looks a wee bit different.
Now who is this?
Who was that?
Be silent so we can hear the music. We talk too much.
Yeah, so I made it really subtle, but if you can hear it, props to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can hear that.
Oh, wonderful. I'm glad
Beautiful.
to hear
It's amazing. Well done.
it. Thank you.
Thank
It was
you
one of
as
the
well. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Rico's working on this model for Link.
Yes, as you've gathered, this is no longer Zelda. This is now Link. For whatever reason, will be finalized as we move forward. Because
There is
everything
still
is a work in
a
progress.
final reference, which I think might look cool if you put on that outfit.
Say, which outfit were you saying? Because I wanted to pull the Master Sword really quick while wearing the, oops, upgraded armor moment. will
Here.
suffice.
Oh, this one, or did you want to wear the heroes aspect? Oops.
There we
that might-
go.
Mm-hmm.
Is it gonna have physics? Yes, it will. Okay, sweet. So yes, Amiibolad, please take the floor for a moment. This is the
So the heroes aspect is Zelda's Light Dragon. So everybody was requesting this, and I thought it was already in my mind, but everybody was giving me designs and showing me other people's versions of it, and I really loved the way that people took it, but there was always too much one way or too much the other. So I designed it with the idea that she is halfway merged between her dragon form and she's still Hylian. So she gets the long hair from the dragon, but she still has like a very humanoid face. She hasn't lost that much of her humanity yet. But like she's got the scales and the like coming up her body and the light sort of like coming through and the tail. And then a lot of people have her in her other dress and it's very ripped and all that sort of stuff. But I thought, well, in the case of utility having a tail, you probably just do away with the dress. So she's just keeping like the top part, and yeah. So it was probably one of my favorites to design. And it's probably the only one that I sort of built as I was designing it. I sort of like brought elements in and then took them away as it felt more cohesive to sort of keep that flow. But I absolutely fell in love with the way that it moves when you're just running around and playing.
I loved seeing people's take on that, the in-between form, and that was lovely what you did.
absolutely. God, this scene is just so beautiful in game.
Cinematic. To briefly answer Jeffrey's question, flashbacks, so cutscenes that are pre-rendered, such as when you see Zelda pop up holding the sword here in a moment, those visuals, cutscene visuals and audio, that's pre-rendered. Those are pre-rendered items and those cannot be changed just yet. But the hope is that in the future we might be able to edit audio for scenes like that. That's a good question.
Hey, girl, edit.
I think one of my favorite parts about that design was how the nose is where like the fur starts to sort of come up and go across her forehead until it becomes the hair. Has a real like deer-like quality to it, which the dragon itself has. It has like sort of dough, very Miyazaki sort of
And when
design.
you two next face the Demon King,
Lovely.
you will have my strength to help you through her. Link, you are our final
In the
hope.
prologue for audio
pray
that is not pre-rendered, I did
this
replace
reaches you in the
Zelda's
future.
grunts with Link's, so that is fixed. But that is edited, but the fixed parts where she's talking, that's cutscene audio, and that currently cannot be fixed at this moment.
Wow. Job. Good job,
Great work.
everyone on the team. Thank you to everyone, every single one of you that tuned in. This is a beautiful note to end the stream on. I just don't know what else to say other than thank you to everyone who supported the entire team across all the years that it's been in production throughout 2 different games at this point. The project is still going strong. The community is still going strong. Everyone is still so passionate about this work of art. And I'm just very, very grateful that I got to be a part of this and that the whole team got to be a part of it, because for everyone it became their own personal story, and that's something I really appreciate about all of us gathering from literally across the world just to bring this to light. I mean, because this is just unreal. I mean, it's come so far, and the fact that it's still coming along is just magnificent. Amiibolad and George, I'll let y'all give y'all's final pieces before we end off.
Let's go, George.
Either of you.
Oh, sure. I once again, I can only say that I'm so honored to be part of the team after being a longtime admirer of Zelda's Ballad for Breath of the Wild. And I'm really happy to contribute, and I'll keep working on dialogue and other fun things like that, and really looking forward to seeing what the final product is going to be. And I do hope that it is enjoyed for 100 years or more, as I see a comment in there. So thank you all, and I'm really happy to work with everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thanks to Troll Squad and George for the amazing work that they do, and everybody else on the team. That it just blows me away how much you're right, Troll Squad, the amount of passion that goes into making something like this, and how it feeds into itself, and everybody just comes together with ideas and abilities and the love of creating something like this, and the fact that it goes out there to people who will enjoy it and appreciate it and see it for the love that we've created. It blows my mind, and thank you all. So till next time.
Till next time for sure. And just so y'all are aware, you will see updates via Discord, the Zelda's Ballad Discord. If I have that link still on my clipboard, I do not. I will copy it one more time. Just make sure you join the Discord if you'd like to stay up to date with the latest news regarding the mod. That's where you're going to find the latest sneak peeks, announcement for streams, videos, and then also you'll just see a lot of stuff via my channel as well. Regarding the potential release, we have a beta planned by the end of the month. That would be, just first release. We wouldn't be completing everything by then because this is such a large scale mod. But before I do have to go, thank you again, everyone. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, blah, blah, blah. You know what to do. We appreciate all y'all. We'll see you next time. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.